Yes, hello and welcome to Literary Guy with Louis Zezerat, where we do the finest of book reviews, looking over some of the most amazing literature that's been published forever. And joining me, we have two scholars and highlighted notable names.
Women! Two of them.
Two of them? Wait. Tim, something happened to you? Yes, joining me in the studio, Sille-Kadri Simer and Tim Reidy. Hello, Sille, how are you?
Great, thanks for having me. I'm back.
You're back.
Yeah, I got so sick of you bitches talking about me all the time on your podcast, so I invited myself.
You love it. You do a little thing every time, like, they talked about me. Me. And Tim Reidy, how are you, sir?
I'm tired, Lewis.
You're tired?
I'm tired.
Why are you tired?
Because I didn't sleep. Why else?
You're in Paide. What the fuck else is there to do in Paide?
Just sleep.
There's nothing to do. You've just come from Paide. Any Paide-related news?
Nothing.
Like
Easter was yesterday, so we have to big shout out to our boy Jesus Christ.
Shout out to
came
JC.
back from the dead yesterday.
Dang.
And we celebrated him with chocolate eggs. Yes.
Is no new the restaurants in Paide?
Nothing.
Stores?
No, nothing.
Anything closed down?
I mean, no. There's nothing to close down. There's
No one died?
Pizza kiosk, and that's it. I don't know. Where are you from? I mean, it's the pandemic. Nothing's changing. Nothing's moving. Everything's,
True.
Whatever.
We're fascinated about Paide and what's happening there. I have these two fine people with me today on the next episode of Literary Guy with Louis Zezerat, because we are high-class literary scholars. And today we are going to be doing a book review because we are intellectuals.
And Tim is such an intellectual, he forgot to read the book.
Tim did forget to read the book, but somehow I feel like, Tim, you already have valid domain knowledge on this area.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
With your insights.
Oh, about women,
this.
like women's things, like women and men and...
Yeah, you know about women's stuff?
Yeah, man.
Picking up chicks.
Dicks, vaginas. The twain meet and it's magic and all that shit. See, I use the word twain because this is an intellectual podcast.
Twain?
Yeah.
What's a twain?
When two things come together, they become twain. Is it?
Oh, right.
I'm probably wrong.
Sounds like some Irish thing, like some Irish slang. I twained her good.
No, that sounds Aussie to me.
Gave her
fucking twined her, mate.
Fucking twined her.
Went to the dirty bird and twined her.
Oh dear. And Sille, how are you recently? How's Tissiden going? How's the podcast going?
Well, we haven't recorded much this year, like maybe 5 episodes, because one quarantine starts, other ends. It's like if I'm not sick or whatever, then Marianna is in a quarantine. It's always like it's been crazy. So
you got COVID, right?
I had, like, in January I got COVID. Yeah, almost gave it to Marianna.
And how many Tissiden episodes have you made out of your COVID, because that's what it's all about, right? Like,
yeah, actually one.
Only one?
Only one, yeah.
Okay.
We haven't had time.
I thought there was going to be a series, part 1, part 2.
No, that's when we talk about our...
Because that's what we do as content creators. Anything that happens to us, it gets rolled around into content.
But it was a short story. I thought I was going to die and I didn't. And I was disappointed.
What?
Like false advertising. I thought I was going to die. I was going to like be young and look hot, They're going to bury me. I had a dress and everything. And
I'm sure you already talked about it somewhere before, but was it bad? Like, was it, were the symptoms bad or?
Yeah, actually you drunk text me and I was like, are you okay, Sille? Can I help you at 2 a.m.? And I was like,
today?
Not today when I had COVID.
Back in January.
In January.
I can't remember last week.
Oh
yeah, you were like, I feel so sorry. Like you were just, I was like...
You jumped, because you were the only person I'd ever known up to that point who
and I didn't know that you're my best friend now. Like at 2 a.m. you're texting me and I was like, well,
gotta
okay.
get those rings that friends get. Cock rings, yes.
I wear necklaces, thank you. It was pretty bad. I was sick for 2 weeks and really sick.
Because ever since I heard you got it, I know a load of people who got it, and almost none of them had anything.
Yeah, because of me, I spread it around everywhere.
Spreading it all over the place. Yeah.
Patient zero, of course.
Yeah, because even Tauri Einberg, who you had in your podcast, the one before this, I assume, right?
Yeah, correct.
He got it, and he only had like aches, and that was it. So it's a weird fucking virus.
It is weird. Yeah, like I was really sick. I've never been this sick in my entire life.
Yeah.
I was
bet
riding my
he's had
wheel.
it. I swear to God, he's probably had it.
Probably
But his
3 times.
Australianness just went, fuck off, man.
Fuck off. Fucking, what are you, some sort of virus poofter?
Yeah.
Fuck off, you abo. Fucking whatever. Get out of here. No way, we're going too deep now. So, the subject of today's podcast is I understand dick jokes, talking about men and women, it's all lowbrow. And I wanted us to review literature, to be highbrow, to do a book review. So the book that I have chosen is one of the finest books written about the Estonian culture. It really goes down with the classics. When I believe when future scholars are going to be looking back over here and reviewing the Estonian culture and asking what was Estonia like.
Like Newish Tammsaare, I am.
Exactly. Like so the book
He doesn't know who that is.
Oh.
is called, no, that's the street, Tammsaare. That's all I need to know. There's the Tammsaare. And there's the Magi, the Tunis Magi. That's a place that I drive to when I'm going to the center. I don't know. They're just places, right?
Let's just say words.
Let's just say words. We are going to analyze one of the finest books written about the Estonian culture in contemporary times. We're talking about Bang Estonia by Roosh V. Roosh V is this sort of... Roosh V was alt-right before alt-right was called alt-right. So 2012, I guess 2010, 2012, he is this American guy. He seems to be part of the culture of the pickup community.
I thought he was Australian, no?
No, he's American. No,
Is he?
American,
he's
yeah.
American, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Just assumed because of him.
So
He's part of the, as they call it, as Sille and I just found out on Wikipedia, they're called the seduction community.
Oh, fuck me. Schleim.
Seduction.
It sounds like a strip bar.
Right, pickup arts. That was a time. So Neil Strauss had written The Game, like the seminal first book about being a pickup artist. He'd written that in 2005. That came out. So this is happening 7 years later. We all know shit happens about 10 years later in Eastern Europe. So okay, it's right on, bang on time for this to happen. In 2012, he travels Europe, or 2010 travels Europe, publishes these self-published books, and there's like one per country. So, and the way it works is that it's 40 pages now. And the thing is that the reason that I think 40 pages describing the culture and what it was like to pick up women, what the game, what the seduction community or what the seduction reception was like in each country. And if he liked the country, then the book was called Bang Country Name, so Bang Estonia. And if he did not approve of the environment in this country, then it was called Don't Bang Country. So the book, if you look it up, is actually Don't Bang Latvia. Okay, spoiler alert. Don't bang Latvia, but bang Estonia.
So do you know if he liked or didn't like Lithuania?
Oh shit, we gotta look that up. I think he did. I think it was. I think that was.
Poor old Latvia.
He liked Polish. He said
no, he doesn't like that. He was adversarial against Polish and Lithuanian and Russian men.
Yeah, but he liked women.
But he liked the women
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
I would Poland and Lithuania. That's fucking same shit.
And the only reason we're talking about this is because, like in 2012, if you we still thought self-publishing a book was a thing. Like what these books are nothing more than long blog posts, and they're written with about the same grammar and editing as long blog posts.
You know all about that, wouldn't you, Lewis?
Exactly, my friend. Thank you.
Cultural learnings for make benefit of great nation of Estonia.
But it's really light reading. It's super, like, I read it in an hour.
It's exactly. It's
and he's
just a long
American,
post,
so it's like,
Now I think we understand, like, okay, any idiot can self-publish, but in 2012, literally any idiot did self-publish, but that's how he got attention, because we were like, oh, it's a book. And yeah, he's a file he uploaded to Amazon, but it's a book. So that's the only reason that this series has more notoriety than your random Lewis's blog, for example. Yeah.
But also when you're talking about, what are they, seduction communities?
Seduction community,
Like
yes.
the guy who wrote this, Roosh V, he had a massive online forum as well.
So he already had a following at that
Oh
time.
yeah.
Okay. So how did you know how he made his name before 2012?
I only know this because recently I marred myself in the fucking horrible pickup artist shit. But this was back in like back in like when BBSs were a thing, you know, like forums, old school forums.
I mean, I was on that, but that was pre-internet. That was when I was 17.
And what were you doing on that website, Lewis?
Not on the website. You don't even know what you're talking about. This is before websites. BBS was a dial-in thing.
No, but I'm talking about like the bulletin board system software that every forum used back then.
You were talking about PHBB, but it's still internet, right?
Yeah.
What you were, don't. Okay, all right, Mr. Nerd here.
He's misdirecting because I called him out for
exactly. You're talking about
being in a seduction community. You know? She's just disgusted over there about these men.
So forums.
Hey, you may be right to, by the way.
I just tuned out. I'm like, just having my beer.
Okay, so the forums. You're familiar with the forums of the early internet.
That guy used to have one, his own one though.
Okay, all right.
And he wrote his book around the time that his community was at its peak.
Okay.
You know, so he's one of many of these fucking cretins who prey on poor women in Estonia.
Pray.
And the idea of this podcast is we sort of want to go through the book. We will call it a book for the moment, and just analyze the lines. I'm going to talk about some of the lines, and then we can comment. And Sille's here, as much as I've understood, just to get angry at everything.
Because
that's what I'm known for.
Because Lewis wanted to do it just me and him, but I said no, that's not right. You need to have an Estonian or a female on there, period.
And I'm the only female friend you know.
Period.
We've only got one.
That's literally
we've only got one.
Because it has happened like 3 times. I'm listening to your podcast, and it's like, oh, I have a question about females. Like, where's Sille?
That's all. Let's call her up.
I'm just writing the fuck. You never invite me.
But also, we're just 2 idiots. We don't. I don't know.
I know it's not so much like out of like.
I'm not an expert on femininity.
Like playiness. It's just out of
you're a woman.
stupidness that we don't know anybody else.
I'm Sille. Okay.
That's
Okay.
interesting.
Give or take.
Yeah.
So we're going to go through the book and see if we can. And now, to keep in mind, why this is interesting, because it's 2012.
I thought it was 2010, no?
Something
like that.
In the era.
Okay.
So that era about how things were.
So let's go back 10 years ago.
What you were doing. Now, I appreciate there are apparently young people still in university. That's a rumor.
Because I was doing my bachelor's degree. I remember I was like...
Where at? Which university?
Tallinn University.
Tallinn.
Yes, Tallinn, yeah. And I was 20.
Do you remember any American
You were 20.
I was 20,
then.
yeah. Oh, wow.
And, okay, so it's 2012. So start like 2010, 2012.
2010, I was 20. 2012, I was 21, 22.
Something like Okay.
So I was doing my bachelor's.
Dang. Sille-Kadri is right in the demographic. Like, bam.
Yeah, did you know any American lads who came into Estonia back then? No?
Come on, I don't give a diary. Like, I was 20 and like batshit crazy. I didn't have any.
Yeah.
So here we go. I mean, just taking a random line. The sweet spot for the category of Estonian girls are no more than 2 years out of college. This means that the most pleasant age range is roughly 22 to 25. So
That's very interesting, actually. I would have thought he would have went way younger than that.
Apparently not. He speaks bad of Illusion because it's predominantly visited by freshman college girls, which is a weird... Here he goes. Illusion. Later on, he lists different clubs, which we'll get to.
Was this like a legendary club? I don't know nothing.
Oh, in Tartu, Club Illusion.
Oh, okay.
Over the other side of the river.
Estonians say illusion.
Illusion. Club Illusion. The only issue is that it's predominantly visited by freshman college girls. I got cock-blocked on over 50% of my approaches as if I was a known pedophile.
Because you were.
Red flags just bing, bing, bing,
actually,
bing, bing.
He had a sentence there. Before I came to the country, I checked that the age of consent is 14. I was like, what? You're 30. This dude was 30 back in the day, like when he was writing this. I was like, no, that's not cool. No.
Fine. She agreed.
So you read this book as well?
I read it every single page.
Oh, God, I'm so unprepared.
No, it's good, Tim. It's good because I feel like you understand the internet culture.
When you're done with that,
that's a nice way of saying you're on incel forums.
Yeah, when you're done with that, with whatever page, I want to just have it so I can have a look at.
All right,
shit that this guy's saying.
So we're gonna go through and just take out segments of this book. I believe that these like I'm not just cherry picking. Like these are honest representations of what's written in the book.
Oh, and he also said that women after the age of 25 are old.
Yeah.
So you need to keep that in mind. 27, way too old, man. Like literally, he said that 27-year-olds are old women.
He breaks down. Well, let's start there. So let's start with that. Types of Estonian girls, which he breaks down over. He breaks down here in this. I have a love-hate opinion towards Estonian girls who are students. The positive is that by far they are the most beautiful group because Estonian women tend to hit the wall a little earlier than average. Oof. Dang, bam! Just boom. Hitting that wall. The negative is that they treat their social circle as God. We're going to come back to this issue about the difficulties in approaching an Estonian woman if she's in a group. Very, very difficult. The next is the girl who's out of college. She will be snobbier and unimpressed with your foreigner status. She's traveled a bit and has accumulated some flags herself.
Can I ask you about this, Sille?
Yeah.
I hear from loads of people that they think Estonian women are extremely snobby. And I'm talking about, like, I'll be sitting in a pub in Ireland and I'll get chatting to a guy and he's like, oh, you live in Estonia, what are you doing over there, etc. And he'll say, like, oh man, the women are awful snobby. Why is this reputation? I don't know. Like,
because they probably talked to Russian women and they thought that we were Estonian. No, I don't know, because it depends like how you approach, because honestly, everybody's so sick of those shitty pickup lines. Like, really, like, and you think that that's gonna work? The last time I actually, someone tried a pickup line on me, I honestly asked him, like, has it ever worked? And he was like, what? And I was like, has this ever worked? Like, has anybody, like any women in any time, like really been like, oh yes, like I want to have sex with you? And he was kind of like shook, and I was like, then like, why are you doing this? He's like, I don't know how to approach you. I was like, as a person. Can I just? Can you just have? Can't you just talk to me? You know, have a normal conversation. Why is this? Has to be some multi-layer, like meta theory, some bullshit. Like, I'm like, no, just talk to me.
Well, I assumed it was because it's the same with men as well. Like Estonians are just so closed off that they assume like, she's just big. But because it's a woman instead of a man, men's biases will go, she's just a fucking snob.
Okay. So, well, in this book, he actually says that women have attitude here. No, it's not attitude, honey. Like it's personality. It says this personality. And I'm like, and the way actually he talks about women and the way the dialogue, I read the dialogue between, let's say he's interested in some chick or whatever, you can sense that he is the one who is super snobby, super like misogynist, like super rude, even like way. Like, I was surprised how rude he was, because he hates plus size women. Hates. I mean, like if there's a plus size woman in anywhere near him, he will write about it. Literally, I was like, what the fuck, like. What did plus size women ever do to you? Like, was your mom fat? Do you have mommy issues, darling? Like, I was just like, because it was really weird the way he pointed it out.
He's extremely concerned. He seems to, several times, he mentions that the growth of consumerism and capitalism has meant, and he directly references McDonald's several times, that it's McDonald's fault that now women are getting larger, and he disdains and does not like when he sees a woman walking down the street with a bag of potato chips, as he says. And I feel like he may be transposing.
Why are we giving this guy fucking publicity?
I know.
Well, you know,
because there are some great lines.
Because to be honest, like Louis asked me, like, was I angry to hate this book? I don't hate it. I think it's so bad that it's brilliant. Like it's like The Room. You know, you ever seen The Room?
Of course I have. Yeah.
It's so terrible. You know, it's a train wreck, but you can't look away. It's so bad that it's good, and I really laughed. I found it hilarious. Yeah. And the book is Bang Estonia. He only banged like 4 chicks. And I'm like, that's. Like
now, my question is, like, if you take the Denmark one, the whatever one, like, how similar are the books in structure? Does he just? Because you can take fucking the Denmark book and probably just change Denmark to Estonia and go, all right, I'm going to make money off of this. Fuck
Tim,
you.
That's a really good insight, and I didn't read the other books.
That's what I would do if I was him.
Sorry, Tim. At least I read one of the books. Did you read any?
You didn't do your homework.
No.
So
I read good books.
I read one.
I'm reading American Gods right now, motherfucker. I'm not reading this fucking shit.
All right, let's start. So he kind of opens talking about Estonian culture, setting it off here. So he's talking about Estonians. They have Europe's modernness and progressiveness, Scandinavia's style and egalitarianism, and Russia's drinking habits and stoic attitude.
That's spot on.
Yeah.
To be honest.
But see, that's the kind of the thing, right? That's why we're talking about this, because some bits are like, Like, we get it. Like he's clearly a keen social observer. He's clear. That's why this is interesting, because there are some nuggets of wisdom, but then it's like, what do you do with that nugget of wisdom? So again, keen nugget of wisdom, talking about Europe, Scandinavia, Russia, but then to follow on, their history has been too turbulent for them to have a hope for a better tomorrow. This fact can be used for sexual purposes. This fact can be used for sexual purposes to dangle the prospect of a brighter future for the Estonian women you meet, especially those with boring, dead-end jobs.
He's almost right. He thinks that we like. The thing is, like, he thinks that we bang foreigners to punish Russians, but we actually bang foreigners to punish the local men here. So that's the thing.
That's very
close enough. But oh my god, yeah. But it was a good insight actually about like the Scandinavian.
To be fair to this guy, like, at least he wears his heart on his sleeve, you know?
That's true.
At least he's just like, fuck you, fuck fat women, fucking this is what you gotta do, fuck Estonian women are shit. At least he's just like, fuck you, I am what I am, you know? Fair play to him. Legend.
Well, here we go. So Tim, I believe that last few sentences are demonstrating the same principle which is demonstrated in this line, which is, and Roosh says, the best way to get an Estonian girl talking is to ask her what she thinks of Russia. Toss some tinder into the fire by saying Russian women seem attractive, which is doing nothing but just provoking the other side, which is exactly what you just did with that comment right there.
That's what I do.
So, okay, so we can get you fired up by going, yo, Russian chicks are way hotter. What am I doing in this place?
But isn't that the negging tactic? You try to make me feel like, oh, I'm not attractive enough, I'm not good enough, so I would try to prove that I am. Isn't that kind of like...
Have you had that happen? Like,
oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I see it through.
Like in a moment.
But they don't know that I'm way confident. I'm
so
like...
What happened? Lead us through maybe one example or something that's happened where you're like, I'm talking to a guy and he starts negging you.
Oh, I've had like, you're actually smarter than you look like. Like, you're smarter than your appearance, whatever.
That's
like
negging?
That's negging. Like, you know, you're like a blonde, so you should be stupid. But
like
if
double-ended, like
they're just like, oh, you're actually
Was he doing
smarter.
that on purpose or because he's just...
Who knows?
No, it's a purpose. No, for sure. Like, it is a... Look, I've read the game. All right, like, again, because
You've
like,
lived the fucking game,
I've
buddy.
lived the fucking game, motherfuckers. Like, all this stuff, because that's the point. Like, there's truth under here, right? There's truth about culture. There's truth about how men and women relate and what we're looking for and what we're out for. But it's like, what's the fucking ultimate purpose? Are you using that to be a fucking creep, or are you using that just to, you know, and that's the really difficult bit in the middle that we're trying to get through here. So, I read the game. Like, I mean, men need it. Men, that's the difficulty. Men need, sometimes like a guy hits on you and just like, what the fuck was that? Like, what was that whole thing
You're
going
speaking
on?
from experience here now.
Right. Girlfriend.
Yeah, before Bang Estonia, there was Louis Bang Estonia.
Oh, shit. 2010, 2012. This is the first couple of years of Comedy Estonia. I don't have much memory of this time. I don't remember what. I had the girlfriend at one stage. Yeah. So some.
You're just like, oh, you see my post? Like, this is me on the poster.
Of the time. Yeah, that was. I don't know if that ever.
You're right, though. You're bang on. This is exactly.
Oh my God, I see how this is turning out.
Point to the poster.
Hey, you wanted to talk about it. So.
True. So this, I mean, so he publishes, he was here in 2010 or so. That's when Comedy Estonia started. So I'm trying to think back to these references, and he directly references bars later. We'll get to this. Möku, Zavod. He's got opinions on all these places that he just happened to visit.
But yeah, like I remember, like let's say 10 years ago, I remember a lot of it just negging, like all the time, just like, oh, you'd be like a model if you lose 10 pounds or whatever. It's just like
Someone would say that to you.
yes, of course. Like, and I'm like,
Jesus Christ.
I'm like, no, I'm still eating my potato chips. I don't give a shit.
Because it's almost
I'm
like,
thick and
though,
juicy.
but the negging,
Yeah.
this isn't in the books, but it's my interpretation is, okay, so the negging is some sort of negative reinforcement. You're supposed to be like, what? No, I'm not. No, what? Huh? To get you.
Yeah, it gets the reaction. Like,
But if you are in on it, if you pick up on it, that seems to negate the neg, to neg the neg, right? Like the point of my negging is that you don't understand that I'm negging. The point is that you genuinely.
But I need to be insecure for that to work.
Okay, which is.
Yes.
So like, look, at least not when a microphone's in front of your face. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm trying to give you a compliment. In person, she's sweet and delightful like anybody else. But then I swear to God, you turn on the camera.
Scylla's like a black woman in a white woman's body, though. You know what I mean? Like you have that attitude about you, that fucking, that snark. It's not. This is a compliment, by the way. I'm not negging you. But you get what I mean?
Yeah, I have sass. I have attitude. Like I know.
Sure.
Like she can go, and it'd be like, oh, Scylla.
I actually got it from my grandpa. He's from Abkhazia.
Really?
So yeah. So.
And this is what this guy's not expecting. He's not expecting. He wants
because he assumes that I'm reserved. I want his attention. That I need. That I need him. And then I open my mouth and he's like, whoa, what the fuck? The fuck just happened?
So this guy just wants timid, frail little women that he can fucking smack about.
They need insecure women. They need somebody like just maybe like coming from a tough relationship or whatever, just being like vulnerable and stuff. They prey on that.
But isn't that most men though? Most men want that, don't you, Lewis?
I think so. He's just putting into words.
Yeah.
Like he's putting a framework. That's why this game thing and these whole there's dudes want to get laid and that's why I'm reading it. And that's a factor to it. But I think if you dig under the surface of that, men want a formula. We're looking for the guidebook on how to, and I'm not sure women view it in the same way. I'm not sure, but men, we're much better with a guidebook. Do this, do that, and then the outcome will happen. Do these things, maybe there's a decision tree in the middle, and then these possible outcomes. We're much better when things are firm, and I think that's what these books were giving to young men. Okay, they're frail, they don't know how to talk to women, they're intimidated by women, their fucking nature is telling them, have sex, look at that you find. Why would nature make that thing so appealing to me, but then I don't know how to approach, I don't know how to talk. And these books are giving a framework. Do this. Oh, when that happens, do that. Like real logical algorithm shit. And that's what I think was appealing to young men.
And that is also what created that whole, because you call me out for incel websites, which I have nothing to do with, by the way.
It's okay. It's a safe space here.
But that's what created that too, because young men were following this guidebook, this formula, and it still wasn't working. So they were going, so it's not me then, it's these fucking whores out here on the street. And that's what
that's what's really dangerous actually, because they're gonna put the blame on not the guru but on the women, and that's
right. It's not the guru, it's not the formula. So apparently the women are the problem here.
Because they can't
women are punishing me
up and go,
yes, and that's actually what creates the rape culture and everything like that. So that's super dangerous. Actually,
it led to a shooting in America. You remember Elliot Rodger, the half Asian kid who shot up a university in California? He made a video that day in his car saying there's a couple kissing over there. He literally said, like, I have the good haircut, I have the Mercedes Benz. I followed all the steps, yet I'm still alone. And that fucking day he went out and he killed 5 women. So it is dangerous.
That's the thing, there's type of people who are super radical. They see like world is black and white. It can either be left or right or this and that or up and down, or, but that's not how life works.
But I know it's not, Scylla, but I'm certainly not trying to justify that behavior.
Yeah.
But what I am trying to point out is that's how I think young men's brains are wired. Like young men want nothing more than a formula or an algorithm. Now, and not because they're manipulative. I don't think they read the game because they're like, oh, I'm a fucking manipulative player. It's not that. It's just that I think a young man's brain is tuned to algorithm.
Okay.
Oh, you just tell him, I don't understand all that, but you tell me how to do 1, 2, and 3, and I know how to do it. Okay.
But not every young man. You shouldn't generalize either.
No, I shouldn't. I mean, broadly speaking, that they're looking for a more algorithmic. Why is this? We're looking for an algorithmic explanation where it's not. It's about humanity. It's about connection.
And the thing is, like, why it's so dangerous? It's because you're generalizing. Like, you're saying all women are like this, or like all women want this, or all women have the same dreams. And then when Dissident podcast comes and we're like, no, stop this shit. We're not all the same. We're not copy based. Okay, we're not clones of each other. We do not want the same things, and we are. Some things it's just luck, to be honest. This entire book is just, he got lucky. Some nights he didn't, some nights he did. It's just like, that's life. That's literally life, Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't.
But like, the reason why I got interested in this whole Roosh V thing is because he represents a type, like a specific type of individual who.
The type who has large mom issues? Like what kind of type?
No, like when we're talking about the badass fuckers who go out there and just fuck because they're Ari-Matti Mustonen and they got that power in them.
Oh, come on, don't talk shit about Ari-Matti Mustonen.
I'm talking shit about him, give him a compliment.
That's not a compliment because...
Is it?
No, because...
I'm not calling him a rapist.
Okay. I feel we're getting to a point here.
No, but
Ari,
like,
all respect. We're good.
Yeah, don't worry about it, Ari. Like the Roosh V guy, they're the manipulators of men and women because he's manipulating women into having sex with him with his formula and everything, but he's manipulating the people who would go out and buy this book and go, oh, so like he like that's what I said in the last podcast we had. Those people I was talking about. The people on YouTube have this weird little community of pickup artist people. They all have that same type, and you could fucking spot them a mile away. I'm just looking at one right now.
But that's the thing we were talking about.
I'm being too bitchy on this podcast.
That's the thing that we were talking about actually before. You're right, because you were late.
Fashionably late though.
Half an hour late.
Really? Not by looking at you, but okay.
You ripped your jeans.
I did. I'm wearing torn jeans. Yeah.
So anyway, we were just talking about like. He did not manipulate these Estonian chicks. They were like, what, 20-something, drunk, just...
They also wanted to get laid,
yeah,
right?
so he was like, they were just like, yeah, whatever. They wouldn't ever remember this to like, let's say 10 years, 5 years, even maybe next week they wouldn't remember. They don't give a shit. But this guy, like he puts value on this kind of meaningless, you know, not even relationship, but let's say one night stands. He values himself through this meaningless sex, and he's desperate, roaming the streets, going up and down, rudely trying to pick up him. Like, this is the goal, the numbers. Oh my God, I have to have sex all the time, constantly having to pick up him. That's desperate. Well, that's sad.
I'm not saying that he manipulated these women.
That's what you said. Like.
No, I'm saying he's a manipulator.
Oh, okay.
He's manipulative, you know.
Okay,
they're manipulative people. I don't think he manipulated any woman that having sex with him. It's just
yeah, you know, it's like he got lucky, so what? And he wrote a book, and I'm like, good for you. But the thing is, like, when I read it, I was like, I feel sad for this dude because it was really like desperate and really pathetic.
But I remember being that. Like, I'm not trying to justify this. I'm not saying that one should go to the extent of manipulating and all that. And right now, okay, I'm totally here like, yes, I agree with you. Oh my God, like one shouldn't, you know, like, oh.
But no, he said that his goal.
I remember being horny and just wanting like my brain just thumping, like talk to girls. And I remember reading, I mean, things like Neil Strauss's book and even this, like, you read it because you know logically, you understand, at least you're not that. I'm not, you know, but you still read it and you still think like, oh yeah, maybe there's some, you know, just, oh, I'm not as terrible as we read it. Maybe young guys don't need to read it and do everything word to word. But if you read it and you do everything but a little bit, like just like go 75% of it, you can be like, oh, I'm not a manipulator. I'm not like him. You know, I'm just borrowing.
Okay, maybe like, okay, if this book gives you like confidence to talk women when you're sober.
Well, there you go.
Like,
there you go.
Okay.
Does it give you confidence? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what the whole pickup manifesto is about? Is actually about giving confidence to men? I'm not sure.
Maybe, and props to you, honestly, like, because he had this street game, like, you know, it's daytime thing that he's sober and he goes and talks to women, and I'm like, yeah, cool. I have like literally no problem with that. And if you give us some pointers like that, and I was like, yeah, respect to you, honestly. Like, but the thing was, the generalization, like, oh, all Estonian women are like this category 1, category 2. I'm like, what the? This is
a short book. It's only
this
40
is
pages.
like no, come on, bitch. And you know, I get it that it's fine, Louis, to be horny and looking for hookups, but it doesn't have to be the meaning of life. No. This guy literally said that his goal, his like literally the meaning of life was to have as many one-night stands, hookups, sex, as much as he can. Seriously, that is the saddest thing I've ever heard in my life. I don't care if a guy or a girl. That is.
Is he married?
I don't know now. I know that he has in the intervening years found religion and that he's using, as much as I can tell, you read his blog and now it's religious, but he's using the misogyny that can be built into some religions. I'm not saying religious people are misogynistic. I'm saying, but if you wanted to, there's a whole bunch of shit in different religions that you could interpret as extremely misogynistic. And he's taking the most misogynistic parts of religion and then sort of just using that to justify his own feelings. It doesn't feel like he's changed very much.
Yeah.
It just feels like, yeah, bro, when you're 40, you can't be at Zavod picking up chicks at 6 a.m. So you got to find a different game. So I think his new game is really
Yeah, I think he had a liver failure or something. He cannot go to Möku anymore.
He's just a fucking snake oil salesman.
Yeah, but like for me, it was just like it was really sad because I would never say that my value comes how people perceive me. Like if they think I'm hot or I can have a lot of men or women in my life or have sex, I'm like, no, that's
Look,
nothing.
you say that now, Sille. So I'm going to go back to the book. Just to now, you're 20 then. So
okay, like then I was insecure.
Do you care to say how old you are, Sille?
I'm 30.
You're 30.
Yes.
Okay. Well, here we go. Going back to the book one more time. Finally, there are women over 30. They will be like shooting fish in a barrel as long as you know where they hang out. The only problem is that their bodies and faces have degraded quite a bit. Thankfully, she won't make you work too hard, but expect to take her out on a date or two. See, we get a little academic. We got in our high horse talking about this and that, but I feel like we've got to go back to the book.
Okay.
The book,
But you were the one who changed the name Literature Podcast. Literature guy.
So you're like shooting fish in a barrel. So if you were 30 years old, it was 2010.
Do you mean
and
like-
you were single? So again, in the context of 10 years ago. Now, before Corona, but still very international. That was 10 years ago, I'm 30.
Okay, well, I haven't. But 10 years ago, I haven't traveled much, to be honest. I did have. I was insecure. By the way, but in a different way, because everybody was in a relationship when I was like 20, 21, 22, that age. Everybody was like, get engaged, la la la. Everybody was in a relationship. So I was desperate to find a boyfriend, actually. I remember that.
You said getting AIDS?
Oh, no, engaged.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But same. No,
everyone's
AIDS was
getting
super-
AIDS. I was so insecure.
Again, Estonia's 10
Even-
years behind the trend.
But yeah, we were. It was trending. It was trending.
Genuinely heard her say AIDS.
We didn't. We wanted to do it bareback, so we were like, "Fuck it, let's get engaged." Everybody was getting engaged.
Laughing at AIDS, classic. Anyway, sorry for cutting you off.
Yeah. So I was really feeling like kind of weird way of pressure of some sort.
So
I
let's
don't
say
know.
10 years ago. So
Yeah.
again, okay, so 2010 or so, you said you were at 20,
20 something, yeah.
like this. You said you hadn't traveled much at that age.
No.
Now, we know
I was
you
poor
have-
as fuck.
We know you have traveled a bit now, and
Yes,
in the
yes.
interview, you have that. So in the old days, as in 5 years ago, most Estonian girls had no interactions with foreign men.
True. The only foreigners here were like Finnish.
Okay, so 10 years ago. So yeah, when you were 20, what foreign interactions had you had?
I met a lot of British guys. Yeah.
No, like weekend guys or?
Yeah, I used to go. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm saying that.
Oh my
But
God. Oh my God.
when I was like 18, 19 years, I went to Old Town. There was shitty bars like Nimeta and like really we would get shots and stuff. And yeah, I remember like hooking up with British dudes and like and American as well. Yeah.
Okay, but just ones here for the weekend or what? Like, or were they ones that were here?
Stag
You don't
parties and
remember?
shit.
No. It was just like
Sure, it was
a couple
thing.
of
There was
times
some-
happened, like, but not like it wasn't like every weekend. Like I was still.
I would love to know, do foreigners who are here right now, like let's say you've just arrived, do they feel that is like a cultural thing? I'm not trying to say that was a cultural thing back then, but I don't know, maybe it was. I don't know. Things are a bit wild. Because again, like it's not just also like if you go back 10 years in Australian culture or Irish culture, we're all pretty set. But Estonia 25 years ago, bam, the craziness of all that happening, the Soviet Union falling. It was, gangster days with my friends Meelis Lal. We're fucking BFFs right now. So things were crazy. So we've got an evolving.
Yeah.
It's not just like, you can't just go like, 10 years ago in Ireland.
It was the same as it is now, basically.
Yeah, 10 years ago in Australia, how it was the same as it is
Same,
now.
yeah.
Where
But, yeah.
Estonia is a drastically different country and
because
kinda
we were
cultural
like
than it was back then.
still developing,
Sure.
post-Soviet country, and actually people from the West discovered, Tallinn, cool, like let's go have party, and yeah. So I was, of course, 10 years ago it was totally different.
And Roosh talks about, in the book, he talks about Estonia being a place where there are sex tourists and where too many bachelor parties, and that's somewhat ruined it. He's got a quote actually where In Tartu, he says, Tartu, I met an American guy called Stan, who has lived in the country for 5 years. And I'm like, did you mean Lewis? Stan? Or do you mean Stuart? I don't know.
Oh, can't go one episode without talking.
It totally wouldn't
Can't
be
do it.
Stuart.
He can't do it.
Totally. It wouldn't be 5 years. So he said, so he's probably doing this in 2010, 2011. In Tartu, I met an American guy named Stan who lived in the country for 5 years. That's not that old. That means you arrived in 2005. I arrived in 2006. I'm not Stan, by the way. Like, that's not like Stuart is years before me. Stuart is like 8 years before me. So Stuart is like 2000 or 1999. And then there are foreigners who came here before Stuart. We're talking about Stuart Johnson, who before that. So by saying that he met a foreigner who's lived here since 2005, that's not very impressive.
Oh, is he framing it as like, I met a foreigner?
Yeah, he's been back in the day.
Yeah.
This guy, he's been back
back
here.
in the day, like 5 years ago.
Right.
I was like, okay.
This foreigner also said, these girls wouldn't have acted that way 5 years ago. Everything has changed.
Aww.
Well, yes, they have, haven't they, Stan? They certainly have.
That sounds something like my grandpa would say, like, oh, back in the day, things were better. It's just like, come on.
So let's go try to go through. So again, the name of this activity is called the game. Like the game. You know, what are you doing? Oh, I've got good game. How is the game in this city means how easily can I talk to women, or more precisely, how do women respond when I use these tactics on them? That's the game. So he has a section on here. He opens that chapter on the game with this great line, which is, Estonia's pleasant and vanilla culture means that you don't need any special skills to bang their women.
Now, when he said, you quoted this before, what does he mean by vanilla culture?
Yeah, I have the same question. Because I know we are vanilla. I mean, I get that.
Vanilla ninja, right. Is that... So
Does he mean sexually vanilla? Does he mean... Because cultural... Like, what the fuck do you mean cultural?
Because
vanilla?
we have a lot of culture here, I would say. We have a lot of theater and a lot of shows and things happening, concerts, but, you know, like a lot of culture happening, so...
But you see, I think what he means by vanilla culture is like basic ass... No culture. He means like they're very culturally like...
Yeah, they're boring.
Slow. Oh, and he's American.
Right, exactly.
He just didn't have a clue. You know, he
He's
didn't
observed
know.
for 2 weeks and that's all he knows. He doesn't know.
Old Town is pretty much all.
It's Estonia.
Yeah.
Like that's...
Okay.
It's,
Okay, whatever.
I mean, to side note here, his thoughts, this is the good one, his thoughts on Estonian men, which may illustrate his vanilla culture concept. So Estonian men, let's go through here. Estonian guys are drunks. Their game is getting plastered and hoping for a Christmas miracle. Since the girls don't drink as much as they do, the guys don't get very far.
The girls drink as much as the guys. Okay.
He continues, on the positive side, Estonian men won't make any efforts to cockblock you. They're harmless in that regard, unlike Russian, Polish, and Lithuanian men. My guess is that they're too drunk to properly cockblock.
I actually have to agree with that.
Roosh guy is fantastic.
Right, where's the truth in the middle of all this shit?
Too drunk to cock block. Fucking hell.
Because I think the paragraph went on because the guys are like hanging in a group and they're like kind of fake fighting each other and wrestling and doing all this crazy shit. And I've seen that, and actually it's a thing, and you can just, you know, you can be the most gorgeous women in there, but they don't give a shit, and they're just crazy. Like, so I totally get it. Yeah. I totally agree with this.
We should have had an Estonian man here to defend the honor of, I don't know.
Ma olen Eesti mees.
Yeah. Sa oled Eesti mees.
Yeah.
Okay.
Suur Eesti mees.
Suur Eesti mees. I did that. I said I was ma olen suur eestlane. I was like, you're a fat Estonian. I'm like, what? No. I was trying to say like I'm a suur patriot. Like
fat is pax, isn't it? Or yeah.
Yes.
As pups.
Sula is just big man.
Big,
you know?
yes.
Yeah, but sword, apparently, I had inferred that I was a fat Estonian,
Yes.
not just... I wanted to say I was a sword patriot, like I was a big patriot.
Who are you saying this to?
You can just say...
To Riley, my girlfriend.
Oh, right.
I don't talk
if
to anyone
you're
else.
talking about patriotism, you can just say Ekre.
I thought he was standing in the town hall square going, "Olen suureslane."
I thought you were writing a song or some shit. Like,
This sounds like some great ballad. I spent the weekend on Saaremaa, so I'm full of Estonian national pride. And you know, we were out there, and I think it was a Saturday. We're coming back, and I mean, nothing's open because it's lockdown times in Kuressaare. And there's one cafe, and you can walk in, and it's all right. And I'm there. Rayleigh and I walk in, and I order the coffee in English. I'm like, "Yo, hey man," and then an Asian guy walks in.
So
I'm like,
We're two foreigners in Kuressaare. And I was like, I want to ask him the questions. And she's like, and Rayleigh's like, you want to fucking ask him, why did you come? I'm like, I do. And she's like, you're a hypocrite. I'm like, no. I say, I understand when an Estonian person meets the foreigner that you want to know, right? Like, why? So tell me, why do you come to
What, did you ask him?
Estonia? No, and I didn't, but I want to know. And I understand the hypocrisy that I am both sick of answering that question for the 20 millionth time. But when I see a foreigner, I want to fucking know what they're doing.
I wish you
in
asked
Estonia.
him so you could tell the story and do your racist Asian voice while you're doing it.
So he said to me, he was like, "Oh, I come to Estonia. I think okay, yeah,
Every time.
And then the girlfriend was out the front, and I wanted to know, so there was this Asian guy. I would imagine with the Estonian girl, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's not say he's not Roosh and they're not just banging, but they're dating and it's good. And does she come from Kuressaare, or it was the long weekend, the good holiday, so the Good Friday? So was he here? But she's like, no, come to the heartland of Estonia. I'll show you what true Estonia is like. Come to Kuressaare. And then they're out there getting coffees, like.
You went through this, and he went through the entire scenario in his head, sitting there looking at the
the
Asian
thing
guy.
is,
Yeah.
there's like so many foreigners here that there's like, we have the French, and there's actually communities, like French community, like Spanish and British, and I know I fucked them all. So I like.
Whoa! Which one had the nicest cock? Irish.
I don't want to say this, but I've never had Irish. Sorry.
Terrible dicks.
I don't understand
Terrible
what you're saying. I'm like,
Terrible.
I'm always confused.
Terrible. Worst.
I like my Latinos.
Yeah. Latinos.
Latinos.
What? Or Latinos. Well,
Latinas. Oh no.
Actually.
Can you give me another beer?
Yeah, you can just grab this one. It's cold.
Wait, here we
I
go.
don't have an opener.
The opener? Where's the opener? Oh, there's an opener there.
Thank you. Suuresti mees.
Now that Sille
Yes.
says something of her preferences. Where was it?
That was a joke. I haven't fucked not everyone,
Not every...
Almost.
Hey,
almost.
You do. You
do.
want to bang everyone. If I was a woman, I'd be out there fucking
So here we go.
slinging.
Yes, I need new foreigners here. So
Right after Roosh talks about his opinions on Estonian men, as we've just been through, now we have the race factor. So, first of all, Spanish-looking guys will do best in Estonia. Yeah.
Aha, she said Mediterranean, see?
the thing is like, it's a really weird thing. I've heard a lot of this that Estonian women don't like Italians. They think Italians are too much, too like pushy or whatever.
Right.
But like Latinas and and even like more dark skinned, let's say Africans even, yeah.
But even like, because that's the thing, like, because Ari had a whole bit about Italian men. Like, I think most women don't like Italian men. Are fucking disgusting.
Yeah, the thing is, like,
me another one.
I just think that because Ari is Estonian, he just didn't notice that this dude was Portuguese or something, and he thought he was Italian or something.
But they are
because
like,
you're like, no Italians, no Turkish, no Italians, okay?
because I used to go to Italy like every year. And North Italy's different though. Like, northern Italian men are fucking ugh. They just keep hitting on me. They won't leave me alone. No, but they're just
but you
like
have so big
over the
tits.
top. I know they're voluptuous.
But his tits are bigger than mine.
They're so delicious. They're so. Do you want to taste them? I'll get you fork and knife. North Italian men they're the stereotype, right? They're the over the top crazy fucking.
Yeah, the Guidos. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think most women probably
No.
hate them.
So
Irish women love them because Irish women.
So
are
I was really, I remember this bit, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, I get what you're going, but the wrong nation, man, wrong nation. We don't like Italians."
No.
He was not Italian, I'm pretty sure.
But the Spanish.
Yeah, like
something of that dark.
Spanish,
with maybe
French,
beard.
even like but but no Turkish, no Italians.
No Turkish.
No Turkish, really.
So
Because when we used to have like, I don't remember the websites anymore, like, but we had this.
No,
forums
it was.
stuff.
Wait. You're thinking of. Fucking what was that? Oh wait.
But because we had MSN Messenger and stuff like
Yeah.
that, but we used some forums to meet people, and rate.de, and we had all these kind of
What
things.
was that other one?
There was
Orkut.
Orkut.
Orkut. I was on Orkut.
Yeah, me too. And
Dude, I thought Orkut was like a catalog. Like you were like, Jesus, there's like, it was just not like, okay, fine.
there was a lot of troll humor there.
Orkut?
Orkut.
O-R-K-U-T?
Orkut.
I've heard of that. What is
Orkut. So it was like another social media. For some reason, it seemed like there was a lot of Estonians and
Yes.
Brazilians.
Yeah.
For some reason, like
Yeah.
why
It
did
was-
the particular catch on, and not Latvia? I go to Latvia, and it was that friends.lv, Draugim. Like they had their own
Yeah.
Orkut version that was also hooked up with I don't know Argentina or some shit.
So yeah, Orkut was like, there was a lot of troll humor. There was a lot of kind of like these groups or whatever, people posted totally like shit, just like random thoughts and stuff. They gave you like kind of, I don't even know how to translate it, but basically if you had your profile, then your friends could just leave comments about you. Let's say, oh, Silla is crazy, Silla is this and that we had a good time, and we had random shit about you. Like it was a weird.
It was like if you took Facebook on MySpace. Remember how MySpace looked, or GeoCities?
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
what
GeoCities,
Orkut
yeah.
was, the GeoCities of Facebook.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but there was a lot thing that we met a lot of Turkish guys online. They always.
He says here, Estonian girls think Turkish guys are creeps and perverts in the way that they approach women. If you're Middle Eastern, clean up your act and you should do okay. Okay, you gotta.
The thing is, yeah, I don't have that kind of mindset anymore, but I had this kind of prejudice many years, because I was like 12, 13, 14 when I was like, oh, I don't want to see your dick in a web camera, you know.
Oh, you're at the soccer.
Oh, Turks are notorious
you're
for
getting
that.
the
Like,
soccer
Yeah.
sending
touching.
dicks, yeah.
So yeah, we were like, no,
Sorry. Go ahead, Jess.
I sucked at soccer, so they keep me out of the team. So
You sucked at soccer.
Oh, you wouldn't blow the coach. Yeah,
so that came out really.
oh, pedophilia.
We're gonna cut
No,
that
but
part out.
14 ain't not pedophilia, Tim. Age of consent, 14.
Tim
yes.
has his own age of consent, Lewis.
That was the Guido defense. No, 14.
Yeah.
No problem.
We're gonna cut this part out. So,
No, this is going to be the clip. Yeah, we're cutting out the clip.
so yeah, that was the prejudice, and a lot of women still have it to this day.
Well, because Turkish men, they do send their dick to women. Just
They did. Like, let's say 15 years
Indians
ago.
are fucking notorious for that. But I love Indians though, because their English is so bad. Some of the greatest quotes ever have come out of horny Indian men. Probably the best one is a guy. There's an image of it online. A guy messaged a woman saying, "I'm sad now," and the woman says, "Why?" And he says, "You is the because."
Okay.
And I'm like, yes, horny women men in English, and horny Indian men in English is just a match made in heaven.
A horny men like from India or they're like, is it something like they were essentially like how men were in 2010 or something, like having no clue, and so they're looking like, oh, I'm going to be this pickup guy, and that's what women
But
want, or like they don't.
in India, there's like entire villages where there's no females. Like there's only like
Exactly,
men.
they have no interaction with women. They don't know what it's really like to speak to women.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
And
all they've got is like that's all they know how to
And
do.
you've the explosion of the internet now as well. So
Right.
you have all these men from India who are just like, they just look at pictures of women. Yeah.
It's non-stop.
Just open vagina, open bobs. That's what they say, open vagina. Like,
Right.
what?
No more beer for you guys.
Internet culture. You know.
It was getting way too crappy.
It's just,
Literally, yes. If you're still listening, we're gonna continue with the book.
race factor. Just finishing off the paragraph on the race factor. Black guys did surprisingly well In Latvia, they were completely absent, mostly due to the high level of racism there. But in Tallinn, I often saw them with pretty girls.
Does he have an opinion on this, or is he just
saw
saying
them with pretty girls? But okay.
Does he have like a? Is he
No, I think he's
upset by this?
No, I feel like he's just presenting this as for what it is. Just like because he's foreigner, they're foreigner. He's just going. I think
He's
he
just observing
views
him.
Turkish, black, whatever, as just like we're all men, and there's a different type. And how does that type go?
Well, I was just wondering because you said he was like alt-right before alt-right, and you know.
Well, true. Okay, is that? But I don't sense of all the things that Roosh V may be guilty of. I actually don't sense racism.
No.
At least not to black people. Certainly, the whole
He's just like
premise of the book.
He's
is
just saying like,
racism
hey,
in some degree, but
he's just basically giving you advice. If you're, let's say, from Middle East, then your chances are this.
Yeah.
Probably the probability. If you're Irish, probability the chances are this. Like it has nothing to do.
yeah, disregarding the massive racism that it might be towards the actual group of people that he's writing the book about.
He tries to help you guys.
There is an actual.
He hates us. Okay, he hates women.
Didn't you hear, Lewis? You can't be racist against white people.
Oh, can I be?
You can't. No.
Right?
No. Fuck them. Fucking crackers, man.
But I found it that the last part it was interesting because Estonians are really racist. So I was like, okay, that he observed that, and I was like, okay, I know some women that have African American boyfriends or whatever.
It's
like
also 10 years ago, though.
and 10 years,
and 10 years ago.
Yeah, and I was actually really surprised about this observation because I don't even think I saw any like dark skinned people on the
And
streets.
maybe that was
like,
it. Maybe that's why those dudes back then were getting, their thing. It was only black guys.
Literally don't know. Maybe yeah.
Are you Dave Benton? Like, yeah, baby, I'm Dave. Yeah, baby, I'm Dave Benton. Yeah, let's go back to my house.
And because we are racist, that it probably worked. You can say you're Kevin Hart or whatever shit.
Was there once ever a black dude who's like, yo, I'm related to Dave Benton?
I think what actually would work was like, I'm Will Smith.
Yeah, okay.
Everybody knows Will Smith. I think.
Dave Benton was in the 90s, right? He was around in the 90s, wasn't he?
Well, he's still around now.
Yeah,
but I mean, like,
90s and of course
was that,
2001. We won 2001.
2001, pardon me.
there might have been a period of time where Dave Benton was the only black man in Estonia.
Very much so.
Wow.
Haven't you not, Tim Reidy, listened to the long podcast that I did with Dave Benton?
Oh, it was
I
so
listened
good.
to some of it,
Oh my God.
but honestly, he's very.
He's the OG foreigner here.
He's got good stories. Look,
Yeah.
he likes to tell stories, and I'm like, fuck it, Dave Benton's here. I'm going to listen to his stories.
And he's so charming and interesting.
Great.
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah.
I'll listen to it after I finish listening to American Gods. How about that? We'll have a 1-2 punch.
You haven't even finished your homework and you were late. Continue.
Yeah, I didn't know. If I was told, I would have bought the fucking hardcover of this if there is on Amazon and been here.
Don't support this.
On-demand printing version of it.
Yeah.
Oh, so okay, where do we go through?
He had a really good description of the venues, I think.
Sure, yeah,
I
wanna
really
get
like
to
that one.
I mean, trying to think of other good lines here. Going back to the internet thing, I guess like so. This guy seems to come to the country for a couple of weeks, hang out, talk to people, get his view, or at least get the view that he wants. Like he has a bias that he wants to see what he wants to see. So it's easy to talk to, and he talks about that he has an Estonian male friend called Margus with a Y. And Margus has friends. He's hanging out.
Why? I thought it was with J.
No, with a Y.
Margus. And okay, Margus. Like, did he just not understand?
I would like literally misspelled. This is.
Margus.
I've never met anybody named Margus, especially here.
Margus. And I like to think that he actually met 10 years ago Margus Toots. Like,
How old would
before-
Margus have been back? He would have
what's
been
he,
like
25, like 15.
Yeah.
15.
Like that he met
Pussy
like.
Slayer Yargus back in
Hello,
the day.
yes, I also often talk to women.
Yeah.
Yes, good place to get chicks.
Yeah. He just redacted his name and took the M out and put a Y there.
But
But we know the truth.
we know the truth. It was Margus Toots talking to Roosh V.
Margus should be the Estonian guy sitting here.
And actually, why I think it's Margus is that because Roosh, he was, basically creeping around and looking for chicks, and he met this chick in Tartu, and she was like, I think I recognize you. Aren't you my friend of aren't you the friend of Margus, whatever? And he was like, yeah. And he's like, oh my god, Margus is so creepy. Like, how can you be friends with him?
Oh, don't say bad things about Margus. Oh no, Margus.
I love Margus Toots. Come on, Margus. You know, we're good friends. But I was just, but the way that this chick was like, oh my god, like I was totally freaking out. That I was just like, it has to be Margus Toots. Come on.
I mean, I have the same reaction every time I talk to the guy. So, oh my god.
I have great. Come on. Möku, like 3 years ago, I did an open mic in Möku Monday, of course, you know, and at one point I don't remember much, but it was like 3 a.m. The bartender, showing her tits. Then
Margus.
Yes, and then Margus Toots is doing truffle shuffle, like, and I'm putting.
Remember Möku in Gang Club Möku?
I don't. It was like 3 years ago. It was yeah, and then Margus starts doing truffle shuffle, and I'm putting some candy in his belly button, and then Oleg is kissing some lesbian, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
the lesbian think it was another woman.
Fucking Margus, huh?
And then there was just, and it was like 3 a.m. Monday night, Möku. So people are dancing on the bar, and like it was great. I actually, when I read this book, and he's talking about, you know, all the bars in Tartu, and I was like, I want to go out. I don't know why. I
know there is that.
I was just like, I just want to go out and get shit faced and not worry about Corona. You know, just good.
Because we're joking that our friend Margus Toots must have been, you know, the guy 10 years ago. Maybe he's a bit young. It didn't work. But I do know Margus has hosted couch surfing.
Yeah,
I know
done
that
it for years.
And I only can imagine, like, oh, Estonia. How's Estonia? Let's find out. Hello, yes, welcome to
his mother's house.
Oh, yes, welcome to mother. Do not disturb her. Like, and just you get presented with Margus Toots straight up. You're like, oh my god, how did the country of retarded people ever?
He's got good reviews though on Couchsurfing. You know?
Well, here he says Roosh talks about, because first of all, Roosh says he mentions a website Badoo.com, which no one knows.
I had no idea.
I don't understand. He would have said Orkut. So look, it's fine. His research is not. Okay, he got a detail wrong. We can forgive this. But he says you can also try couch surfing. The biggest problem is that the girls are more concerned with cultural exchanges than with people. Are more concerned with cultural exchanges with people from a different country than by getting stuffed with foreign cock. But you can use it as a social circle. So,
to be fair,
damn those chicks.
I mean, he's got a target audience, right?
Right.
So, you know, stuffing women with cocks, that's his target audience. That's his thing.
God damn.
Don't be offended, women.
Just into
just
cultural shit.
But the thing is, like, you know, women, like, I just want to have sex with them for free and then live on their couch for free as well. I just want everything.
Like, he might as well just say, like, oh, they had the tenacity to ask me for my name. They didn't just drop to their knees and blow me. You know, that's his mentality.
It is kind of like, because we're all a piece of meat and we are the same. If I'm Estonian, then I'm some category, something like, oh, I'm too old, whatever. It's
what would you do? You're so bitter.
Oh,
that's the problem. So
and I hit the wall like 5 years ago.
Bam, slammed it.
I hit the wall when I was born, so it's all right. It's all right. But anyway, like, I do want to bring something up because I'm not going to name names here now. He's an American now, it doesn't matter. So I have an American friend who you've met. We've drank with in Pudel. Don't know if you remember this guy.
Oh, the server guy.
Yeah. Let's just not name names.
Oh, sorry. I don't remember his name, so that's fine.
But he's very much
this.
He's into the whole pickup artist thing.
Really?
Travels.
Because I thought this was just going to be the next 5 minutes of us shitting on Caleb Brunick, but no. Okay,
we can do that. We can do that because I got a fucking bone to pick with him. Right. Have you seen his recent TikTok videos?
Sure, about boning and Comedy Estonia artists.
No, not that. Whatever. Right. He's going down a hack hole. Caleb, come back out of the hack hole. He's in Macedonia doing Surmuni Maggie jokes, and it's just not going to fly, Caleb.
But he's hacking it on TikTok, so TikTok's where all the kids are. Okay, anyway.
But it's horrible. Stop doing
Caleb Brunick, go fuck yourself. Okay, that's where we're coming from.
So this guy...
so your friend who I met, he's a real person. He's a foreigner. He's not one of the comedians. We're not hiding. He's just a random foreign guy who sometimes is here, sometimes lives here.
But he does that. He goes to around poor European countries. Not saying Estonia is poor, but he goes around Eastern Europe with the express purpose of banging women.
Is it still a thing? Like it's
Yes.
still okay.
It's still a thing, yeah.
But
But not so much in Europe.
Yeah. Does he recognize that? Oh, Europe or Estonia is a bit past that, and he's got to find somewhere else.
Apparently, he told me that the last bastion for this shit in Europe is Belarus.
Okay, last dictatorship. Fair
That's
enough.
the very last place you can go, or you can go to like Donetsk or some poor shithole there and try and.
Okay, the back of Ukraine.
Yeah, but that's where they're all going.
As you're dodging Russian
Yeah.
bullets. Okay.
And
yes.
you'll see this trend on YouTube, all these travel bloggers, suspiciously enough, a lot of them go to Belarus, a lot of them go to Eastern Ukraine, a lot of them go to Macedonia, Caleb. But he said, yeah, it's all Asia now. Like Europe is kind of seen as this like flame that's dying out for these people.
Well, if you're into Asian chicks, but okay. I mean, if you're into Asian chicks, why weren't you there 10 years ago? Wouldn't that have been 10 years easier as well?
He told me that if you go to like Nepal or any of those mountain countries, you can bang like your women, Australians, like horny hikers and shit. Yeah, so it's not just like go to Belarus, have sex with a Belarusian anymore. It's go to Belarus and just bang. Like
I mean, I've done that in my time, sure. Which somehow I feel that's a much easier thing to admit to, both publicly and to yourself. Like,
What, going to Belarus for the hop?
no, like, okay, you're going somewhere, but then banging other backpackers. See, that has no...
Yeah, no.
Oh, you went somewhere, I banged an American chick,
Yeah.
I banged an Australian chick. Doesn't matter. You were banging a Western person,
Yeah.
so you're not in any way manipulative, apparently.
But this mutual guy that we know, he does the whole pickup artist forums thing, organizes trips with people, like, and he still does it, still alive.
Still kicking it. I mean, fair play to him. Still kicking it in 2021. That maybe that was a thing 10 years ago with the way we all thought about the world or something. I don't know. We were 10 years younger. Okay, so he has a business here, doesn't he? Or somehow.
So I don't know. I think he's left
Who
completely
knows?
now.
Oh, okay.
Pandemic has just wiped him out.
And he will sort of want to visit the countries that where there's, he thinks they're a bit whatever.
Yeah, I mean, we had another mutual friend of ours who was a comedian from America. You remember? He was going to write a book. Remember that guy? He got trapped somewhere. He made a GoFundMe. Remember? I'll just say his name. I don't want to say his name. Remember? You can beep. Are you going to beep his name?
No. I'm not gonna
shit.
go back through there. He wrote a book.
Remember, there was this American guy who was in Tartu in school. Black beard from South Carolina.
Stuart Johnson. Eric Sufa.
It was Mike Brocky.
Oh, Mike Brocky.
Yeah.
Walkie-talkie Mike Brocky.
So he
He's all right.
he told me he would use Estonia as a base, and then he'd go to Minsk, and then
Mike Brocky was like, I don't even consider him a sex tourist because I don't think he was that good at it. Like, when you think of sex tourists, you think manipulative, smooth. Like, I was like, Mike,
But it's not just
you're not that
about
good at this, Mike.
Like I think the majority of sex tourists are just like pale old fucking weirdos who just want to fuck easy and they can't fuck women back home, so they just go to Thailand, I guess. And
I mean that, and that's the different shades of grey of this thing, right? Like, if you're that guy and you travel to the back of Ukraine to get sex, is that a thing? Or what about the older dude who's always gone to Thailand to get the young Asian woman? That's true. We also know that there's a phenomenon where older or middle-aged to older Scandinavian women will go to Africa or to Asia to do some sort of reverse sex tourism or actual sex tourism. I'm not quite sure what you would call it, but like even that can happen, as a thing. They're kind of different. They're all the same kind of thing, but different versions of
But here's a funny story for you. Or no, should I wait for Silla to come back? Because she'd be interested in this story as well. I will.
Okay.
I will wait.
We can have some time. We can give our listeners some break.
We can give them some ASMR like Dan LeMan.
Oh, we'll do ASMR.
That birthday video he made for Tauri was just...
So let's give some background. So Tauri Einberg, who was on the podcast.
Yeah, he had his birthday. Tauri Einberg, he had his birthday. Wow,
his birthday.
what a concept.
So,
I can't keep up this ASMR thing. I'll find a gun somewhere and I'll blow my brains out. I asked Dan LeMan because Dan LeMan does his ASMR streams.
okay, Dan LeMan, the manager of Heldeke
that
venue
guy.
in Tallinn.
And it's painful. Dan, I'm sorry, you're ASMR. You got to stop, buddy. You're in your 40s. Come on. But anyway, I asked him to make one for Tauri, and he made one, and it was all in Estonian. So it was Dan.
Jesus.
It was Dan the man for like 5 minutes, and it felt like an hour, going like Tauri mulle mikmes. Like I'm doing different sounds over 2 different microphones. And what I did was, right, I set up my 9.1 binaural surround system, and I fucking sat Tauri right in the middle, and I put it on, and rough. Dang. Like you could see the hair rising on your hand watching it. You know,
microphone stereo flex.
And he'd stop and he'd go.
And he can, like, first of all, let's talk about this. So Dan can do 5 minutes of Estonian without writing it down. He's, I mean, reasonably.
Yeah, but it's fairly like I could do it. I could do what he did.
Just constructing simple sentences.
Just mulle mikmes, head sunni päeva, stuff like that. You know.
Okay. Yeah. All right. And I mean, ASMR, I didn't even know what it was until recently. So it's just talking into a microphone.
I mean, they say it's beneficial for people with depression, especially.
Really?
Yeah. What? Like Ari, I was talking to Ari about this because he was telling me in Japan, you can just hire a woman or a man if you want to just lie next to you in bed and just whisper shit into your ear because it's beneficial to your brain or something. I don't know. It makes you feel like you have someone in your life, I guess, or whatever. Because that's what ASMR is. It's a bunch of sad men who are listening to women whisper nice things.
Because I see it on a Twitch stream, some chick doing some ASMR, and I'm like, this is porn. Like,
yeah, it's audio
porn. But not that she's doing porn, and I don't mean to value judge her, but like the amount that I'm aroused, like irrationally aroused. Like I don't go around thinking like, oh, I'm into ASMR and I want that. But if I turn on Twitch and there's some chick doing ASMR, I'm like, because I'm about to spunt. Like, because like it's one thing to see a woman's body and whatever, like the traditional porn, but like ASMR is like a new form of. I wouldn't call it porn. There's a new form of like it's a new sensation. It's a sensory type of thing. Right, sure. It covers different parts of the brain. Right, and I think my theory about ASMR was that, it's built around speech and around audio, and we're not used to the sexualizing of straight audio. Visual, yes. Visual in every single way. We are almost immune to that. But the audio, the voice, just the we're not used to the hypersexualization of straight up audio. But also, to bring it back to the book, the way that we were talking about earlier, how like the whole formulaic aspect and men following it and failing and creating incels and stuff like that. Like ASMR, those incel people will seek out ASMR because for the most popular ones are women who are just like, hey, how was your day? Oh, how was your, like, so they feel like they have a connection with someone, you know? So ASMR is, I wouldn't call it pornographic. I just think it's a new. I could never do that. Literally, I could never. I mean, you're familiar. First of all, you're familiar with it. You know what we're talking about. ASMR. The sudden notes, the soft noises and stuff like that. But I'm loud as fuck. What do you think about it? What do you think about ASMR? Whatever floats your boat, I guess. But I don't. It's not for me. I don't know. It's not for me. Yeah. I would fall asleep. Yeah. I was just telling Lewis that Dan Leman does them. You know, he does his ASMR live streams. And I actually got locked out. Did you? I forgot the keys. Oh no! And I was locked. I thought they unlocked that. No. No. I was locked there, and then some chick came, and I was like, "I'm drunk and I'm locked out. Can you please help me?" I was waiting for you to come back to tell the story. What? But what story? Lewis is gone, so I don't care. Lewis, you'll love the sound of your own voice, Lewis. You're listening back to this right now. Okay. We were talking about sex tourism and stuff like that, and I heard an interesting story that like lonely Westerners are going to Asia for sex tourism, and lonely Asian men are going to Europe for sex tourism. They're like switching around. Apparently, the brothels in Germany are full of Asian men from like China and Japan and stuff like that, which is like, that's just fucking hilarious to me. You know? Yeah, I don't know. You don't know? No. You never? No. I don't work at a brothel. You don't? Shocking. Come on, those boots. Come on. They're made for walking, okay? Yeah. They're less womanly than my boots, anyway, that's for sure. I love those. Oh, they're so nice. They don't go with the outfit, though.
Why? What the fuck did you wear with this? Do you wear pants with the same pattern? Like what the fuck? Like a suit?
Suit. A brown suit. Like.
I do have to get a suit because interestingly, we're talking about the culture of Estonia.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, I don't know because of the lockdown. Fuck, I was going to go to the Estonian symphony orchestra in the end of April, but I guess the country was going to be locked down. So.
Yeah, why would you go? Just
because I love orchestra music. I used to go every few months.
Is that an Irish thing or?
It's a me thing.
Oh, okay.
What you did? What Tim? Oh, Tim has long hair and he's fat. He must be into Finnish fucking folk metal or whatever. No, I like symphony music. Yeah, I was going to go to the symphony this month, but
I just found out that
what's
Tim
symphony?
Estonian Symphony Orchestra. They're performing.
Yeah, like that's something my grandma used to listen to. So I was really like, Tim has some culture.
They're doing Verdi's Requiem, which is the. Okay. I was going to go see that, but
where at the Opera House or something?
At the Estonian National Orchestra building place. I don't know what it's called.
The Estonia Opera House.
Yeah.
Estonia. Okay.
But also, like, I love Arvo Part, why they represent. Arvo, if you're out there, hit me up, buddy. And they were doing
with what?
Just out in wherever he is. He's out in West Estonia. Just
you want to go to like pizza kiosk with him or something?
He's not dead.
No, he's not dead.
He's not dead.
Oh, the day he dies, whew, I'll be a very sad man. But he's from Paide. Okay. And his music is incredible. So they're doing a tribute to him in May. So this fucking lockdown better be over by then. You know? Well, Tim will start swinging. Kaya Kalas, I'm coming for you.
With your new shoes and stuff.
Oh, you see my other ones? They're green and they have
Where'd you get
bits of gold in them.
Damn, why does I keep? Where do you get these shoes from?
Internet.
Where
Taft.
did you get everything
Taft,
from?
an American shoe company.
Mm-hmm.
So, back to the book.
Okay, where have we...
You're going to have to do a lot of editing of that part. It was just all over the place.
No, we're good. Thank you. I'm not going to edit any of this, but thank you still for joining.
He didn't do it in the last...
let's talk about this. I want to focus on... He comes back to this idea of Estonian women in a group. And so the first is cock blocking, a severe problem in Estonia among women younger than 25. If a woman is a group of 3 or more, I can almost guarantee you'll get blocked. And that he keeps speaking it several times that you can't approach women in a group in Estonia. This is a group of chicks, they're out, and that's a difficult...
Well, listen, that's kind of universal thing.
Yeah.
That's not Estonia specific, in my opinion. Like, that's just basic, Let's say it's Heidi's birthday. We're going out. There's like 3 of us, 4 of us, whatever. We're celebrating her birthday. We don't give a shit about your foreign dick, okay?
Because like a man can approach a woman in a group, right? And he can romance the fuck out of her. But her friends are going to know this guy is fucking...
Sleazy,
he's out for one thing only. So they're gonna
because
yeah. So what countries had he been to where he's like, he can walk up to a group of women and she'll just leave her friend and just be like, oh, I'm going with him.
Because always sisters before misters, honey.
Sisters before misters. Lewis, we got to start living our life by this. Sisters before misters. I'm going to remember that one. Next time a man comes up to me in a nightclub.
Before the misters.
Okay, listen. Okay, yes, you might have what is it? Flag or what was
your
it?
flag? Sure,
yeah, whatever.
The score, the
like you had to, like I have like best friends. I've known them for like 20 years. Okay, I'm not gonna ditch my besties for some flag. Some Colorado flag.
Okay, exactly.
He's American.
Some American, some
Sorry.
Idaho, who knows where.
Oh, I have. Okay. I remember this one time I was really drunk, and this American, like they were like American, Colorado.
This morning.
Colorado. They were just like they were so Midwest, and I was just not having.
When was this?
2018.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so pre-corona, and I was like. Like I had too many drinks and they just keep bugging. There's like 3 of us. There's like, yeah, we were 3 of us and there was like 4 dudes and they're just, oh, can we sit here? And I was like, no. And they were like, what do you mean? I was like, that's what I said. I meant what I said. And they were arguing with me and I was like, bitch, don't come, like, don't show me no attitude. And like I'm going off and my friends like, shut the fuck up. Just don't be rude to foreign. We don't have enough foreigners here. We need it.
They were American. Fuck 'em.
But the thing is, like, they were Trump voters, and I was just like, no, like.
How do you know they were Trump voters?
They're from Colorado.
So racist, isn't she?
I know.
You just assumed they were Trump voters because Colorado voted for Biden, didn't they? Oh, you mean? Oh, sorry. In the
she's
first
just a
election.
racist.
No,
She
not the.
doesn't know anything about
no, not.
And I would say though, what a change from this is 2018.
Yeah.
I want to take your memory back, dear listeners, to 2003, when I think it was one of the political parties had a. This is just before the EU, and one of their slogans was rohkem, seksimad, mehi. What was it? Seksikad. More sexy men.
Seksikaid.
Seksikad. Rohkem, seksikad, mehi. All right, that was a real. I showed you that picture, Tim. Like a real billboard with a stock picture of a good-looking dude that they just got from iStockPhoto.com.
And what does it translate to again?
More sexy men.
More sexy men. Yeah.
Was the slogan.
We need to open the borders, so more
Reform
sexy.
Party.
Yeah.
The Reform Party. They literally put a poster up in a bus stop. More sexy men. As before, this was 2003, before 2004, when Estonia ascended to the EU.
Why were all Estonian men just ugly prior to 2004 or something?
They've always been ugly.
Have they? Oh my God! Look at Roger Andre, one of the most handsome. He looks like a
He looks like a giraffe.
Roger looks like a fucking Liechtensteinian prince.
I know.
He could be on the back of a horse.
And he's so tall, I can barely see him.
Women love tall guys, though, right?
And we have a lot of tall guys.
No, she likes short. guys.
Roger's a fucking.
No, Sille likes those
I like to dominate.
short Latino girls. Hello, Miss Sille. I'd like to talk to you.
It's Madame for you.
Madame Sille.
Oh, she'd love Caleb's black friend then.
Oh, really?
He's not black. He's like Puerto Rican. Came to my house, criticized my food. Whatever. Stuck his finger in my.
I'm the critic here, okay?
Needs more salt. I don't know. Yo, you love him. Big, massive, muscular man.
But didn't like your cooking.
Nah, he just said my thing needed more salt. That was right. He was right. But it hurt, though.
Okay, this is literally the second time he's talking this story in your podcast.
Yeah, but this is the Tim and Lewis podcast. We just repeat ourselves over and over.
I thought this was the literature guy.
I mean, Sille just proved that at least she's listening. All right.
She's our biggest fan, probably.
Because people gave out. They were like, "Oh, Sille's back. We're tuning out."
This. I mean, this summer. So in the book, Roosh goes on so much. A lot of your game should be based on creating a comfort level to show her that you're a guy she can trust. The good news is that you don't have to wait more than 3 dates for sex as long as you keep escalating. So if you're always like, but it's 3 dates, like she's not going to bang you on the first one, but 3 times you've got a good chance.
Well, it depends on the women.
I'm the type of guy who doesn't even bother with getting a girl's number if an interaction ends without some intimacy. However, in Estonia, this will lead you to no bangs and no numbers.
No bangs.
You will need to put work into a girl without knowing how she'll perform in a bedroom. Shock horror.
Well, they don't know how you perform as well, honey.
Exactly. Foreign guys only there for a weekend won't get more than a kiss or 2. You'll need an apartment and at least 2 weeks. It sounds like a film, an apartment in 2 weeks in Tallinn in 2010. Jesus.
It sounds like he's only interested in like one single type of woman.
Specific age,
Yeah.
mostly in college. He likes brunettes. Definitely have to
Insecure.
be skinny, insecure. He actually likes if you're like half Estonian Russian, like because he really likes Russians. So he mentions a lot of times that Russian women are more beautiful and blah blah, and he emphasizes that brunettes. Like there's a robust group of blondes here, but like brunettes and he has some really weird like kind of like how he describes the faces and stuff. I don't know. It was kind of
like he's obviously observing, and he's good at rolling into a place and listening to a few people and getting the broad lay of the land. Like that's the thing. In that way, like I mean, these observations not that bad.
No, it's not. It's not.
But it's the manipulative end that you take it to.
I really loved his review on Zavod. He laughed so hard.
So let's get to that.
All the places.
Can I get the bottle opener off you?
Yeah, sure.
Sorry.
So okay, so
yeah.
he does. So we'll go to now. He's got a list of the kind of the ending of the book.
Oh, and he
is-
lived in Tartu. So yeah.
He stayed in Tartu
Yeah.
for a while.
By
and
the
then
way,
he
I'm
was in
looking forward to
Tallinn.
this because I have heard so many stories about Zavod. Never been.
So he gives a little, and this is what I think
gonna
you want to
go.
listen to because it's
Alright.
a broad overview of what going out was like in 2011. Right, like, like it's fine, and I feel like that's one of the reasons why we can joke and talk about this. Even though now society has sort of moved on, and okay, we're like you wouldn't even really write this at all anymore. Okay, it's not really the times.
You wouldn't publish it.
You wouldn't publish it, but it's 10 years past, and we certainly, and don't get me wrong, I don't mean to make fun of sexual assault or something like this. That's not
But
but it's not what, but it's 10
No.
years, so hey, fuck it. Statute of limitations or something.
statue.
So-
There's-
Statute of limitations, that's my life. It's going to be
when
my
it comes-
biography's name.
When it comes to harassment in Estonia, it's 2 years.
Yeah.
Statute of limitations, 2 years. After 2
No,
years,
No, statute of
Yeah,
limitations.
statue. Yeah, that should actually be the title of
Yeah,
your book.
statute
there
of
will
limitations.
literally
would
be a statue.
Yeah, the statute of limitation. Okay, we've explained that line too much. Good. Okay, so Tartu. Now, next thing. If you don't have, if you're not into picking up college girls, you should abstain from going out. Because there is a limited selection of older women in Tartu. Not that false, really. Like, kind of true.
It's a college. Yeah,
it's all students.
Yeah, so
Okay. The city is small enough that if you find a decent girl, you might as well hold on to her because there is difficulty in finding another. The size causes girls to worry more about their reputations than in Tallinn. It's not as bad as in Iceland. He's a very well-traveled gentleman. But Estonian girls in Tartu will be hesitant to ditch their friends for you to avoid becoming known as the foreign guy slut.
actually I agree to that because, you know, Estonia is essentially a big village. You know, everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
So that's why, honestly, that's why I decided to start Dissident and just be open about everything because it doesn't matter. Everybody knows everything. It really doesn't matter. And you can be, I've had so many cases, everybody has this experience that you meet somebody totally random, you have no idea he or she is. Oh, I went to school with your best friend, and and it goes like you cannot avoid this shit. So I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna own it. I'm gonna own all my mistakes, everything. I don't care. It's all out there. It's public. But I get it that some people are more self-conscious and they would like to keep things private. And yeah, Tartu is really, really tiny. And
That point about Estonia being a big village it's amazing to me because it's a population of what, 1.2? 3 million? Exact same population as the city of Dublin.
Mm-hmm.
But if I lived in Dublin my whole life, I wouldn't know my fucking next door neighbour.
But you can't compare it.
I know, I'm just saying it's
You
an
can use that
interesting...
same reference to be like a city of New York City is why doesn't
No, but
work
I'm just saying,
that.
like, the population is the same. Dublin is a much smaller footprint, yet people don't give a fuck.
That doesn't work. The compare. I'm saying a city of.
Do you want to
1
fight,
million-
Lewis? Is that it?
A city of 1 million people is the same as a country of 1 million people. That doesn't work.
it's not
I'm
the
just
same.
saying it's an interesting observation. Calm down, Mr. Check your fucking shirt.
No, the thing is, like, okay, like there's like let's say there's 600,000 Estonians here or something like that. Others are foreigner, like Russians or
Well, I
Canadian.
didn't take that into account, actually.
Yeah, so like let's say like I was thinking about like me knowing other Estonians because there's only like let's say 600,000 something like I haven't fact checked this or what, but 1.3 million, it doesn't mean that we're all Estonians.
But also, it breaks the borders and spreads out too.
Yeah, and the thing is like we have this kind of like, you know, communities. Let's say you were born in Mustamäe, you went to the school, you know, your pals through that area, they go to Hiiumaa or whatever. So when you go to Hiiumaa, you have a connection there because somebody you went to school there now lives there and and it's just, like you're gonna have this kind of connections.
But also, I mean more like, I'm an Irish person living in Estonia.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't tell you about any young Irish comedians who are doing well at the moment. I go to a pub in Dublin and I met a guy from Jõgeva who hadn't lived in Estonia for, I think, 15 years. Mm-hmm. He was a barman there and he was like, oh, Sandro, sorry, Matti. he just knew everything about comedy Estonia. And I was like, oh fuck, because it's the smallness of Estonia that makes you like kind of grab onto. You know, it's easy to
Because for me, it was always fascinating that I know a lot of like foreign Estonians, like who live abroad. They've lived 20 years in Canada, but they know everything that's going on here. I'm like, why? I don't know. I'm sorry, but why?
And I don't know nothing, and I love my country. Fuck all.
But they literally know. They absolutely they know every detail, and even more than me. And I'm like, oh, okay, good.
I barely
you.
know who my prime minister is. I don't know.
Because that's the country. That's what you get. I mean, you've got this small. I'm just convinced countries shouldn't be this small. Like we shouldn't. There should be a international law that there shouldn't be, because it just does. Like it gets fucked up at this level. Like we need a certain. I can't just see a government minister at Selva. No. Like I'm not. They should be someone higher than me to just see a government.
But don't
minister.
you? Isn't that nice to see Kaya Kallas in fucking Rimi buying a carton of milk? You know. It makes you feel closer to your politicians.
Right.
One of my favorite books of all time is The Man Who Spoke Snakish. It's the Estonian
Really,
book,
that's
right?
one of my favorite books. Actually.
And I saw the writer coming out of some pub in the Old Town, and I was like, oh fuck! Like the fact that I saw him was like mind blowing to me. But then I find out that Estonians they don't have this crazy celebrity worship thingy. So he just
we see everybody is human. Like you can go to the movies and there can be the president of Estonia, just like having her prosecco and just.
And I love it how that's a very interesting that just sentence that you just said, right? Telling the story, because you as an Estonian, you tried to reach. You were trying to tell a story, and the point of that story is to sell the most prominent Estonian that you know, and that I saw them somewhere. That was the point of that story. And the most prominent Estonian that you went to, and I think it's very common, is the president, right? It's not like no one's like, I saw Tanel Bada and it was an experience that I remember. That's what no one's like Carl Erik Taukar and that was an experience. Yeah, it's cool that we meet Carl Erik and he's probably a nice guy.
Yeah. But
everyone always goes to president or prime minister, like a politician.
Yes. Because in other countries, people think that it's insane. Like in America, can you imagine like going to the movies and then there's like Biden or Trump or what, Barack Obama? That would be like that's not ever gonna happen.
Yeah, or even the governor, even the state governor or the mayor. That's I mean, maybe like, a mayor.
I remember when Barack Obama came to Estonia and like literally the whole city was closed down.
You're better than all of us.
I was like, whoa, but we don't get this kind of crazy celebrity culture. We don't have because I've read the stories that they have insane stalkers and people harassing and like they have to hide themselves. And it's crazy. And I couldn't imagine that. Like here, don't give a shit if you're a singer and an actor.
You can just go and meet Tim Reidy anytime you want. You don't have to be a crazy stalker.
I'm a celebrity in my own mind.
That's right. Anytime you want. I think you just go talk to Tim.
And it's not weird.
You can, by the way. Just come chat.
And it's
fucking give my address out.
And because I sometimes literally you go to a story and you see some famous actor or whatever and you don't even approach it like I just so
that'd be weird. I'd be like, no, I want to respect their privacy.
Yeah, exactly.
I understand there's a supermarket.
But can you imagine like let's say Angelina Jolie or whatever, like whoever goes out and there gotta be paparazzis and people just swarming and crazy and like.
That's a good point though. What if let's say like who's one of the biggest, let's say Brad Pitt came to Estonia. We
would. The thing is, Estonians wouldn't believe. We wouldn't believe that Brad Pitt would come to Estonia. Therefore, if he was here, we would be like, oh, it's a Brad Pitt lookalike. Who cares? Like, it's Timo or something. I don't know.
Nah, but if like, I don't know, Posty May said, oh, Brad Pitt.
Because Bam Margera has cut him here for years and years.
He's a mess. Have you seen what's happened to Bam Margera lately?
Yeah, he's a mess.
He's going down.
There was the time where 8 years ago when Shane Warne, the cricketer, but he came to Estonia, but his girlfriend was Elizabeth Hurley. So she was in Estonia, and then all the magazines, like it's, I don't know.
There's been a lot of celebrities, but we don't give a shit. We're like, yeah.
Well, you get my point, though. If it was an international celebrity, then an Estonian will go, hey.
Then it's a thing.
Yeah.
Then it's a then it's a thing.
Okay.
But a local celebrity.
Okay.
We can see them all the time. I mean, what is it? We're so connected. Like to me, as an Australian, I think, the politicians are the guys in the Parliament House. In the city.
They live there. They live in that building.
They live in Parliament House. they've got famous rich people things there. Like I would never think to meet them, never think that. But here it's like,
because we don't have like Queen Elizabeth or like royal family or like somebody who is untouchable. We're like, no, fuck you.
I mean, put it this way.
Like,
Taavi Rõivas, ex-Prime Minister of Estonia, was on this podcast. So, people are pretty open. All respect to Taavi. He's a great guy. Thank you for coming on the podcast.
Shout out to Comedy Guy
But
Podcast.
nevertheless,
you can have literally like
if we abstract off that point that a former Prime Minister of the country was on my podcast. All right. Okay. All respect to Taavi.
It's basically
get my point,
you had Tony Abbott on your podcast, right?
Man, how about those fucking Asians coming over in these goddamn boats? Turn them back, you fucking puffs.
He's going to bleep puffs, though.
I turn them on with those puffs.
and you could just, and it's fine for you to ask. Like, you're like, hey, what's up?
Right, it was normal, right? I just reached out. Like, how did I get
But
Taavi?
if you would live in America, let's say you live in New York, would that be a...
How am I going to know? I wrote to Taavi on Facebook.
Yeah.
I was like, hey man, if you're free, it would be a pleasure. It was in the first lockdown. If you got nothing to do, why don't you come? We'll talk for a little while.
But can you imagine that you live in New York and you're gonna ask the governor or whatever, like prime minister? I don't know. Like,
You'd be shot.
Sure.
The Secret Service will come and shoot you.
There's
But before we go back to the book, I would just like to say for the record, the conversation we just had is a far more entertaining topic than this fucking book. But anyway.
I think so too. But see, that's what the point is. The book is supposed to be the stepping off point, even though I love reading the quotes. It's supposed to be a stepping off point so we can talk about Estonian culture, Tim. That's the...
I'm such a feminist.
Do we have to explain how the sausage is made?
This book is breaking my heart. It's breaking my heart. Breaking my heart.
We have to explain how
buy my bullshit for 1
how
second.
the sausage is made, which is a metaphor for the game as well. It's a very deep metaphor if you want to think about the sausage. Get it? Sausage game.
I don't get it. Get it. Oh, because sausages look like penises. Now I get it. All right.
Okay. All right. We haven't got much to go on the book, but just to get through, only the list of venues that he is
my favorite part.
assessing in. So Club Tallinn, circular bar that makes it hard to find a good spot. Okay, not good. Illusion, we've spoken, predominantly visited by college girls. Atlantis is a popular club, but generic and attracts older women.
It doesn't exist
again. 2012.
Yeah,
2012,
exactly. It was a legendary place, but it closed down in 2017.
Yeah, that's the big one across the river, right? In Tartu.
And now, actually, because I had an event last year there, and I went there and I was like, oh, this used to be a club, and all the young kids are like, what? Like it's a dance studio, you know?
And now the name of the dance studio, if I'm not wrong, isn't it SHATE? Shate.
Yeah.
Shate
with an like
exactly. I've said I know the person. I'm like, he named it fucking shit, and she's like, no, it's Shate. I'm like, it says if you walk by Atlantis by the river Emajõgi, and you walk, it says Shate. It says shat.
Yeah,
shut yourself.
And she's like, what? No, it's not. I'm like, it says shat. Come on.
That's a pity that Atlantis is closed, because I used to stay.
It was a legend because the building was built. I think it was built like in the 60s or something. It's really unique. It has a really I actually liked the place. I don't give a shit about the Atlantis, but it was nice, and we had our NGO had our birthday there, and it was really nice. And
I've never been there, but for me, I used to stay in that hotel for the open mics, the one that's right by the train station. What's it called?
Dorpat. Yeah.
And my window would always face the river, and I would always just see the big lit up Atlantis.
Yeah.
And now it's gone. Shit. Now it's shat.
It's shat.
Yeah.
So we have Atlantis, then moves on to Maasikas, a club for older people who aren't in college. All right. Place gets packed not because it's good, but because older people really have no other place to party.
Oh, come on, it's called Strawberry. What do you expect? Maasikas, yeah.
It is. Maasikas is the generally regarded as a place for older people in Tartu. So, at least it was back then. But the last two, okay. Zavod. Here we go. Zavod is one of the worst bars I've ever been to in my life. The floor is sticky and gross, and lots of men in their 50s drink here. The reason I'm mentioning it is because it stays open late, and so you can use it as a venue change for a girl you met somewhere else. So
Bar sounds fantastic.
Again, sure. The place you go at the end of the night when you want to pick up, just equal with men and women. Yeah.
Like I would just go there. Right now when I'm hearing this, I know the sticky floor. It's a mess.
Yeah.
It's shit hole. But I'm kind of like I want to go. I want to go. I don't care. Let's do. Like, I don't even do shots, but let's do
Sure,
shots.
we've
Let's
all
do hot
been
shots. Whatever.
Like the amount of times I've heard people say that exact same opening sentence, it's one of the worst bars I've ever been to.
Yeah.
Yet they're like, oh, it's so great.
But it's legendary.
Great. Yeah, yeah.
And then
It's
the
so bad.
music.
It's like this book. It's so bad. It's good.
And you're there until the end. The music plays, and it's time to go home.
Faster's time by. Don't mind
Right,
going
then
home.
you got to walk all the way down
Ooh.
Rudely to Fasters.
Ooh. And then you meet Taurikula.
Just in an alleyway somewhere.
And finally, the last. Oh, sorry, there's two more. Also, he gives a review of a place called King Kong.
I haven't never been there.
I had to be reminded. King Kong, we think was one of the places underneath Vilde. Like that is now, I don't even know. Now it's Shooters.
Oh,
Well, Shooters is that's been
okay.
like so many things over the years. We've done gigs even down there. I remember comedy gigs.
I literally don't.
But it was
remember.
one of the names of the downstairs at one stage, King Kong.
Okay.
And it was called a shitty hipster bar with girls who are lazy with their appearance, even though their genetic appearance is favorable.
What does that even mean?
So attractive women who don't look after themselves.
Right.
Is what he's saying.
They are lazy with their appearance, even though their genetic appearance is
He's just
favorable.
describing hippies, though, isn't he?
You're a hot chick, but you don't do nothing about
Yeah,
it.
he's just describing beatnik hippies.
So it's like you don't. I don't even like this. Is super weird.
It's another neg backhanded thing of going, oh, you're
okay.
genetically good looking, you're predisposed, you're good, but you're a dirty hippie, you don't do anything, you don't care, you're lazy. Like if you just, that's what.
That's
it's this
kind of what
backhand neg compliment. The whole play. He's negging. This dude is so advanced. He's
And I would put on
negging
my
a
John
venue.
Lennon glasses and I'll be like, fuck yeah.
Imagine that. I mean, you neg a chick, but he negs a whole venue. Like, not bad.
Based on the women who were there. That's
And he actually had this thing that Finland is influencing Estonia with the haircuts and the lazy looking at no makeup and the
The
kind
McDonald's, yeah.
of McDonald's.
He's very obsessed. with-
Yeah, he was like, McDonald's means wider waistlines and like I was like,
Does he complain about Estonian women not wearing makeup?
No?
it was not. It wasn't about makeup. It was about the hairstyle and the general appearance. You know how you put yourself together. But I think it has something to do with makeup, as at
It's got
least.
something to do with misogyny, but okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Finally, the last venue review. Möku.
Hey.
Yay,
Hey.
Möku! Woo!
Old Möku, too.
Oh, exactly, Tim Reidy. Old Möku. Underground, Rootley Street Möku. Okay, so here he goes. Möku. Möku is a better version of Zavod. While you won't have much selection, the ratio is decent. The girls are friendlier and older than what you might find. For guys who are scared of approaching, you'll like that it gets so crowded that approaches happen naturally as if you were on a packed beach. All right, weird metaphor, dude, but okay. European bars are generally hard to pick up in because everyone's sitting at tables. But this bar is an exception that gets my stamp of approval.
Hey.
Yay,
Yes.
Möku!
Wait,
Woo!
Carl is probably nearby. Hey, did you hear that?
He
Carl?
loves it. He travels over the roads.
I love Möku. It's such a hippie place.
Have you been to the one across the street here yet?
Yeah.
Have not. Have you?
No. There was an open mic, but I missed it because I was performing in Kapeka. So
It's nice. It's not Möku, though. I will say that.
We had the same ones. That's because you're not part of the group. We had the event at the same time. The idea being you can go to Kapaka and go to Möku.
Yeah, like New
So
York
it was
style.
a
You can go
loose
from
idea,
one mic
that's right.
to mic.
no, but I don't share it venues.
So Möku is he
Wow.
and he also
The misogynist has given Möku his stamp of approval.
he
That's
has
fantastic.
and he also has another
Literally
part of this book which I haven't read from is he's giving some stories about his nights out, which I literally mean his 2 nights out, like the 2 stories he's got. And he tells a story of going to Möku and talking to the bartender with the neck tattoo who's in the Estonian military. And be like, it's Riho. Like
We know-
everybody knows it's Riho. We know who you're talking to. And again, Riho comes out fine in the story, but again, the small
It's an
country.
Estonian thing because
We know who you're talking
if you
about.
give so many specifics,
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. We know his family, we know his girlfriend, his dog, everything.
Maybe
right?
we're proving Roosh's point with this discussion that this is a small place where everyone's connected. If you're so connected to each other, then you're not likely. I don't know. I guess the theory is that in a small country, we're more connected. You know everybody. So when you're going out with friends, there's some sort of more intimate kind of feeling. I'm more likely to see people that I know at Illusion when I'm partying. Where if I'm in a big country, America, Australia, Ireland, it's a big club. It's Dublin. I don't know anyone.
I love how he says America, Australia, Ireland's tiny.
Ireland, sure. I'm just working them in. Yeah.
Like I still like if you're in a group, your chances are low. I think at least like because like if you're trying to approach, like let's say there's like 6 girls in a group, you're trying to go to the table like it's kind of like the fuck. Like
I mean,
because
they're gonna talk
because there's this pressure. There's this pressure. Your friends are looking and they're judging and like.
But I mean, if you're a guy by himself and you approach a group. Balls.
Exactly.
Balls.
Imagine this was not this was Roosh V, who she was a Eastern European woman trying to travel to let's assume even of medium to upper attractiveness, right? And she's traveling, trying to pick up, and she's like, "Oh no! If you see group of 6 American men, do not bother.
Yeah, it's very hard.
It's not good. No. Of course."
Yeah. But no, like if you're in a group of men, it's probably much easier to, because then the groups just fucking collide like 2 galaxies or whatever, and just
Yeah.
Dudes will be more like, yeah, come in, let's talk,
Yeah.
maybe because we're gonna wingman.
Yeah.
But there's wing woman stuff exists.
Well, I'm not one of them. I'm like a satellite. I'm like, fuck you. Like, what do you want? If you're looking for an escort,
your friend is talking to a guy, so you got to talk to his friend.
I've had really tough conversations that like, see, let's stop. Like, I was really interested, but you ruined it. Because I was like, what? You like because I'm drunk and I try to be funny, but it's not funny. It's just rude.
I wish I was a woman. I would have so much fun fucking with men. If I was a hot woman at a bar and a man I do. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Hey, what do you want?
Yeah,
what do you want?
Yeah, but you still like keep in mind that I have my pepper spray because I don't want to get killed. You
Yeah, so, pepper spray.
Of course, I carry it every time with me.
Oh,
have you got it on right now?
Yes.
Can we see it? Can I see it?
You want to see it?
Of course I want to see your pepper spray.
All right,
Jesus Christ.
I'm just going to get a pepper spray out.
Not a man there.
Tim needs to know what he's up against.
I've never seen pepper spray in my life. Never. Jesus Christ.
Can we try some?
No. I don't. Can I pepper spray you, Lewis?
I mean, not a lot, just a little bit.
Oh my God, Silla, you keep pepper spray. This don't fucking point.
I mean, just like sprayed in the air and we can just.
No, Lewis, I don't want this shit. Will kill you.
It has a safety pin, so.
Wow, can I see?
Yeah, so actually you have to, and that's how it's sprayed.
Okay.
Oh my God, you have pepper
Because
spray.
I'm so drunk, I'd be like,
oh, it's Walther brand.
just give me
the gun company.
Walther, really?
Yeah.
That's badass. Because they make the
That's
pistols.
fucking that's fucking class.
And usually it's enough when you show it. You don't have to actually use it.
Have you had to show it before?
Yes.
What? Tell us that story.
Well, it was like
Tell
2
us a
weeks.
story about sexual.
Well, his name was Roosh V.
sexually assaulted. Jesus.
But there was an American. No, actually 2 weeks ago, I was in Rimi.
2 weeks ago.
I was in Rimi.
Yeah.
That's how the story.
Okay, sorry. 2 weeks ago in Rimi, you had to use the pepper spray. Be my guest. Go ahead.
I was in Rimi, I listen to podcasts and I was doing my shopping. I bought I bought too many things. I had some things in my handbag. I had some things in my, in the grocery bag. So I went outside. I took off my mask, took off my hair, and then I just saw that somebody's just stalking me. Okay, and I didn't pay attention to him, and I was just whatever. I was just taking off my mask and just putting stuff in my handbag and just And then this guy approaches, super drunk, late 50s, some really like drunk dude. And I'm like, what the fuck? And as soon as I took off my mask, I was like, I wanted to see how you look without your mask. Like, not bad. And I was like, bitch. I was like, do not step any closer.
I don't want to be a woman anymore, Lewis. Just you have to deal with this shit.
I was like, it was like after work, just, I just went and I just showed him that, and he was like, oh, I was just joking. I was like, no, you were not joking. Get the fuck up. I was just fuck off. But it was such an eerie feeling, just like somebody stalking you in a supermarket and just like trying to just see how your features are without a mask. I felt really uncomfortable, and I have it in my purse, and I was just like, bitch, don't mess with me. Like, I'm not playing. I'm not playing. Okay.
Where do you even buy pepper spray? Just internet?
Yeah.
Actually, that was a gift for me.
Was it?
From my ex-boyfriend.
But Volter though. Volter. I love the logo even.
That's a very good question. Where do you buy pepper spray?
There's this
pepperspray.e.
No. There was a store like fishing gun, not a gun store, but like fishing. Fishing. There was like literally
Matka Sport.
Matka Sport. Yeah, it's like some.
Really, Matka Sport is selling to both you and to the guy who's going to try and rape you.
Yes.
Like both at the same time. They've got a good market.
Yeah, absolutely. They go both ways. So
Look,
for a
man has come in, but who wanted things, but Sille, you have
Matka
this.
Sport is great because they'll just give you guns and you get to play with them.
Yeah.
They don't put like the clip in. You can just say, hey, can I have a look at that AR-15 or whatever? And he'll pull it down and give it to you. I'm like, oh.
You can buy an AR-15?
If you're an Estonian citizen with a gun license,
we talked about this, the gun license thing. Neither of us have this gun license.
But you don't need a light. Like you can just pretend like you have one. He'll just like, yes, it has a muzzle here and.
Just so you can play with it.
Yeah.
But we talked about this, that we can't get. It's much more difficult for you and I to get that.
We can, but we have to get a translator to do the test.
Yeah.
They used to have an English test, but not anymore.
It's really expensive.
We can't get a gun.
Actually,
was it an automatic license or for any gun?
Getting the license is expensive, I think.
Oh yeah, it would have to be, right?
Yeah.
Was it for an automatic or for any gun?
Oh, you can't get an automatic in this country.
Isn't an AR-15?
No, you only get a handgun.
AR-15 just means auto. It's not. It doesn't mean automatic. It means Armalite 15. Yeah. See, that's fucking Americans. Like, AR-15. No.
See, Caleb, no.
Fully automatic weapons are banned everywhere, except for like African countries like Mozambique and shit, who have AK-47s on their flag.
Yeah, true.
So back to the book.
So yeah.
Sorry, here's your
Do
pepper
not
spray.
fuck with me.
I don't fuck with her. I've been pepper sprayed in the past. By my choice, by the way. It's not nice.
But yeah, it actually scares the shit out of guys. So
I bet.
I can imagine.
Yeah, so they're like, no, they're not fucking around because they don't know what this shit does.
Would you respect a guy if he's like, hey, and you're like, fuck off, and he was like, but he went like, oh yeah, it's deodorant.
The thing is, if I use this, I have to call an ambulance.
Yeah, because they're fucked.
Yeah, they're fucked. I have to actually, like, literally, if somebody wants to assault me, let's say there's a situation, somebody wants to assault me, I use the pepper spray, I have to call the ambulance. Because I actually armed this person, like, but I would still kick the shit out of him before the ambulance came out. Be like, "Fuck you!" Like,
yeah, that's crazy. I've never seen a can of pepper spray before. That's
I've got to admit, actually, neither.
And
I think
it's foolproof.
But
you cannot use it like this, so you have to.
You know what? Now I think about because that's a good question. Where do you buy it? Because I don't see it around. It's not like
it's not a common thing.
A kiosk. I can just whip in and get a fucking pepper spray.
And the thing is, actually, you don't wear it in your purse. You wear it in your coat, like ready.
You should have a holster, like a little handgun holster.
Yeah, it's like you have your hand in your pocket, and let's say you're walking alone in the street because you don't have time to reach in your purse. So when shit goes down, you have only like a couple of seconds. So
you know what you should do, Sille? You need to have a flower in like up here, like a clown.
No.
Just go for the added comedic effect of injuring a man.
Of my flavor.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, maybe that's it. You need a pepper spray canister that doesn't look like a pepper spray.
Yeah, I probably spray myself with that. Like it's something not to fuck around because if the wind blows and I get it out.
Yeah, no, Lewis, don't fucking listen to him and spray it in the air. It'll fuck you even if it's not sprayed in your eyes.
Yeah.
It'll go into your nose.
Yeah, it's gonna fuck you up. Yeah. So that's why you don't use it indoors.
A friend of mine in Chicago did that. She was like, don't. And I was like, oh, do it. I want to see what it's like. And she just fucks you.
Yeah.
I don't know why though. I don't know what the compounds in it are or whatever.
So
but
it's just really extreme cases, like, but it's just when you say it or you show it, usually it's enough.
Oh, you should do it to hecklers at open mics. If they heckle you, just go.
Indoors, everybody would be fucked. Like 50 people would be totally fucked.
That would be good. Just and produce something that's just. It would be good that if it was either A, just water mist, or B, something that was slightly irritating, but not like pepper spray. And so you're just like, motherfucker, and everyone's just freaking the fuck out, and it turns out it's rose water or something.
There is a Latvian comedian who was on Britain's Got Talent years ago, and I went to an open mic and he was there, and he had a heckler. But he like encourages hecklers. He just took a water pistol out and squirted the guy in the face. It's part of his act, and I was like, oh, that's fucking genius. We should do that.
Oh, there isn't much in the book left. I realize we've been going a long time.
I have
right
a question for Sille.
Yeah.
Oh, please, let's go.
What advice do you have for young men who might be struggling with approaching women, young Estonian men especially? Because there's none of those here, that's for sure.
Okay. I know this is so cliche. I know. But just if you're yourself, honestly, if you're just charming in yourself and you're like, you
Wait. If you're just charming and yourself.
If you're just perfect in every way,
no, I don't
just
do
do
that.
that.
Because the thing is, like, I have met guys who are so awesome when I meet them and I go out and I'm just like having the best time, but then online they're like assholes. I'm like, what the like this?
What do you mean online? Like chatting to you?
Like chatting, like, like sending messages on or just whatever, posting stuff, and I'm like, just like, why are you like this? This is not who I thought you were. There's like kind of a disconnect. So if you're just truly like, hey, I feel comfortable in my own skin, and I know it's really hard to
But
do
is it like them being manipulative, or is it them just being stupid? Because they're men who
they're
don't
just
know how to
overthinking
relate.
because with all these pickup lines and like trying to be funny, you know. I'm like, don't try to be funny, honey. I'm the one who is the comedian here, okay?
Oh, so there's an ego issue.
No, it's like you know, but those jokes are tired.
Okay, sure.
You think that this is gonna work on every woman, but we're not all the same, and just. Just be present and listen and just be yourself, and that's all. Just women are actually human beings.
But that's the difficulty, though. If I talk to you and you like it and I be myself, then that's all lovely. But if you don't like me and I be myself, then that's an ego issue that you don't like me, right? Like it's like just be yourself. Like as a young man, my suspicion is you don't like me. Or I think that what I am is not anything different or interesting.
Well, the thing is, like, you're gonna get rejection. Okay, you're gonna be rejected. I have been rejected by many guys and girls, and it's fine. That's part of life. That's how it goes, you know. And you just have to be over it. It's nothing to do with you. It's just, you know, not every woman you meet is gonna be your love of the life or whatever, or gonna want to have sex with you. It's just not realistic. I mean,
even Roosh put Estonia at a 50 in terms of meaning 50 women you had to approach to get a bang.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Is that how he scores countries? Or
scores.
Yes.
Yeah. So we gave Estonia. Iceland is 40. Estonia is 50, and then Latvia was 60. So there was different countries on there, but 50. That's his metric. So you got to do approaches, and that means a reasonable approach, not just like, what's the time? Okay, I'm done. Like some effort into the conversation to see if it's going somewhere. 50.
I have a question for you as well, but we'll get to that later. Yes. I have another question for you. Am I right in thinking that I'm going to sound so fucking old. This is horrible. I am getting old, Lewis. I got fucking grey in my beard now. This is ridiculous. I don't dye my hair.
You can dye your hair.
I don't dye my hair like you, though. I mean, come on. Where'd that little white spot go that was up there every night? I don't know. Just for men, man.
Grey. You're not looking close enough.
This podcast is brought to you by Just for Men. No. Am I right in thinking that there's still this culture of like courting in Estonia?
What is that?
Like, all right, so it's not just about the pick. Oh, you want to fuck. There's also this culture of how do you fucking define courting?
I mean, it's the dance. It's and not just the dance. I mean, after the,
but not for the purpose of fucking.
You're enticing them into a romance.
Romance,
a romance thing, and not just like. that there's a back and forth, that this is a process that takes some time.
Or is it just all about Tinder and sex?
Well, okay, that's, again, are we talking now or are we talking 10 years ago?
No.
Now, okay.
I don't know, like I'm 30 now. So it's like I don't have much.
All right, what about this? All the time if I'm browsing the internet, there's some memes on the internet. Apparently that's what the kids do these days.
You're on
is the
OnlyFans,
memes.
Lewis.
And there's a meme that it's like a picture of, it's very common, there's some chick's Tinder profile and there's that bio, those few lines on someone's, and it'll be some witty line that is very witty but basically means she likes to bang. And oh god damn, I'm trying, like, you know, it'll be like, I don't know, is that the limited times that I was on Tinder, I didn't see any like women who were like, oh, I'll float you more than a floating ship is floating. Or
well, they didn't just
or
match with you, but
no, just when you're browsing by, like you're seeing like some
I'm telling you, like people are different.
Okay.
Like I cannot say that all men are like this or all women are like this or straight are like. That's the thing.
Yeah, I was like,
well, when it comes to like, yeah, sure. The thing is, when it comes to dating, like I can see with me that there's a big difference when I was dating when I was 20 versus I'm dating now when I'm 30.
Sure.
It's a huge difference because I'm not the same person, you know. I have matured a lot, to be honest, and I'm really maybe I'm like too straightforward. I'm like just, you know, I don't give a shit, and I don't want to play any games. Actually, I'm just really blunt and really honest, and a lot of people don't like it, and that's fine. But the thing is, like from my experience of dating, always I found it more attractive when I see somebody that it's just he or she is comfortable in he or she's own skin, you know. It's just so like let's say this Roosh, okay. There was a scene that he's described that he was talking with the bartender. Riho. Just, you know, joking. Yeah, Riho. Just talking and joking and like not being creepy and walking down the street and trying to pick up women and coming up with lies in his head and like, oh, I'm gonna get laid and like so desperate. I need to get laid, you know, but being himself and just talking with, you know, just an Estonian fella like, oh, okay, what's up? And, you know, and he immediately got noticed. Because he let his guard down. He was just like, hi, I'm just American here and it's winter and it sucks, but I'm depressed, but whatever.
You're just feeding into his analysis, which was, if you want to bang in Estonia, you need an apartment in 2 weeks. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. They're not going to
I'm sorry, you need to invest something. If you're not going to invest money in escorts.
He says 3 dates. He told you over 30 women. If you over 30, you take them out on 3 dates, you're banging on 3 dates. Like,
I bang on the second one.
Me too, actually, funnily enough.
Okay.
But I usually don't get to the second date because they're like, you're really crazy, right? I'm like, yeah, they're like, fuck. They don't want to fuck crazy.
Tim, you can answer this in as much detail as you want. I don't mean to pry too far, but how did you meet your partner? Your partner is an Estonian woman.
Yeah.
Right, okay, we want to point that out.
I'd rather not go into this.
In Estonia or not in Estonia?
Not in Estonia.
Not in Estonia. Okay, that's all we need.
I'd rather just not go into it.
No problem. So I just want to check that. But you met Estonian.
But
we've talked about this multiple times in the past. So.
Sure.
Yeah.
But just, okay, but anyway, you have an Estonian girlfriend, blah, 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 but you didn't meet here. Okay, and then...
No.
So she was like, I live in Estonia, and you're like, where?
I just don't want to talk about this right now. Yeah.
Not right now? You don't want to talk about it right now?
Some other time.
well, literally, what my point was, like, let's say if you were born as women, whatever, you're Australian women, you're like, we Irish women, so you're drunk and...
Don't get me started.
Okay, let's just say...
women.
It is an interesting thing how, like, in India is a matriarchal society.
Okay.
Yet they, like, we talked about how horny Indian men are, like, insane. Ireland is a very patriarchal society. Or no, we're a matriarchal society as well. Where we used to when I grew up. But now we're more of like sorry, I fucked it up. Matriarchal is when the mother
is,
Yeah.
So the Indian men are all fucked up. Ireland is a very patriarchal society. And our men are fucked. Like, Irish men are terrified to speak to women. Which is why this Roosh V thing, like, I see Irish incel communities. I'm like, oh, no. No, this is Roosh's fault. He did this. You know?
Well,
Okay,
the thing is like, okay, let's say you're both women. Okay, and ever since you were 14, let's say you're 14, even before that, you get unwanted attention. Yeah, you get like, oh, how old are you? How are you 14? And like you get all these comments and all this you're like you feel like you're a piece of meat all the time. You hear the sexist comments and misogyny, all this
soccer.
Yeah, you hear this shit years and years and these pickup lines again and again, and guys think that it's so funny and hilarious, and then you see somebody who is genuinely themselves, just enjoying it, just having a good time, just enjoying, just not trying to like force himself onto you, not trying to be clever or funny or whatever. And actually, you don't even give a shit how this guy looks. He's just so attractive because he's so comfortable with his own skin.
Isn't that the point of these pickup guys? That they though want to appear.
But the thing is, it's based on lies.
Sure, so they're based on lies, but they want to appear.
But you cannot be genuine when it's based on lies. Because
right, but I could maybe have a really good algorithm that approximates genuineness if I just do these things. It's hard to fake it.
It's really hard. Because even those dialogues, when you read those dialogues, he's so rude.
Sure,
he's trying to be this charming American, but he's so blunt, he's so rude. I would be like, whoa, like calm down. Like,
but also he has back then at least he had the painted on. Not painted on, but it looked like a painted on beard, right? The black.
He looked depressed, actually. I don't know if it's because he went to Estonia, but whatever.
I know. Do you know what? He kind of looked like my brother. My brother has that same fucking tight beard, and it's like, ugh.
Because sometimes, like, I have met amazing people, just super random, like, they're just enjoying their time and they're just talking to you like, hey, what's up, what's going, do you like this band or whatever, just normal conversation, nothing like you don't see the intent of I want to like.
Sure, but that's the point of the pickup artist, is to not
but how long can you fake it? How long can you fake it, honestly? How long in the conversation?
To get you into bed. Like they're there to fake that to you, to fake that, and maybe to trigger you in some subtle psychological ways that yes, you can be aware of. If it's like, I can be aware of it if I'm a fucking soldier and I'm aware of the enemy's tactics at the bar, but maybe you're not. Maybe you're just like not.
But he assumes that everybody is so naive and we don't know about the game. Yes. Bitch, we invaded the game, okay? You are playing it. We invaded.
Sure. That he's...
So like he just assumes that we're all the same. We don't know shit that's going on, that guys are playing us. That's not true.
Okay, that you don't have any...
Because I think those college chicks that were out and drunk and were willing to have sex with him, they were just... as horny as he was.
Sure, they wanted to bang as well.
Yeah, right? They were like, whatever, fuck it. And they didn't even care, like, if he's whatever handsome or, like, whatever, like, kind of lies he comes up with. I think they were like, yeah, okay, you're leaving in 3 weeks, let's bang, who cares? I'm 20. That's what I said. That literally was me.
I would say oh my God, we're an hour and 40 or something into the podcast.
Oh, wow.
As a broad observation, I would say that when the foreign comedians have come here and they're traveling around Estonia, and we're doing the actual, not like the big shows if you're a big star, right? But if you're just doing the show at Vilde or whatever, the small bar or a gang club or whatever, like, there's a good chance that if you are not a creep, you can meet someone like...
Yeah.
But also comedians, they communicate for a living, so they know how to...
Yeah.
Okay.
But also
they can actually be funny.
Because I zoned out there for a second. Just a follow-up to the whole courting romance thing. Because I don't know if you know this, right? But in Ireland, we have these things called matchmakers. Have you heard of this phenomenon?
What is this?
So on the west coast of... And this still happens. There will be a man, usually an old, smelly man, in small Irish towns who makes couples. He matchmakes. He looks at the daughter of such and such farmer, finds a son who'd be suitable.
It's like an arranged marriage or something?
Yeah. But it's in
Irish
Europe.
version.
It's in the West. It's in Ireland.
And he just knows everybody in the town?
Knows everybody in the town or village. This would never happen in a city, but there's even a festival, a matchmakers festival in a town called Lisdoonvarna in County Clare, where people just fucking farmers bring their daughters and their sons and go... Right, find a fucking woman for him.
But what if they're not straight? The fuck, like...
Doesn't matter. Oh, it doesn't matter. This is the west of Ireland we're talking about.
Yeah, that's levels below what we're talking here.
It's probably very rare, but I know it still happens. So the whole idea of courting comes from the idea of
Okay, because we have a joke like Kosi Amor. It's like if let's say you know two of your friends, oh you would be good together. You know, it's just like something. Oh, I think you should date or you should hook up or whatever.
Yeah, but that's a you should thing.
It's like
it's forced.
This is arranged marriage. Oh my god, that's horrible.
It's it's literally like Indian arranged marriage.
So it still happens.
Wow,
Still happens.
And they would be
shocked.
arranged. Like
Yeah.
You've got it. Not just like it would be interesting for you to go on a date with this person, but like this is the person you're supposed to marry. What?
Yeah, there's a super famous play about it called Saive, about a girl who tries to like reject the matchmaker, and the town turns against her.
What year was it written in? What year is it?
What year?
set?
Yeah,
60s maybe.
So,
60s, like 1960s, not
1960s. Yeah.
like
I don't know.
Woodstock, like that kind of era.
Woodstock era, yeah. Janis Joplin, yeah.
That's all it was.
Or she was 70s, sorry. But no, yeah. So we have this matchmaker, and it's.
And who is this dude? Like, is he Jesus or something? Like, he can decide.
Irish Jesus.
I think it must have something to do with the church. It has to.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's creepy as fuck, so the church has to be involved, right? But it's always just this man.
Is your Jesus ginger?
Like, I don't know. I'd love to go into every single church in Ireland and make Jesus black or Muslim, which is what Jesus probably was, like
Middle
brown
Eastern,
skin,
yeah,
Middle
yeah,
Eastern,
yeah.
just to trigger all the farmers.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's just it's what we have. So the
still
mine
have
Roosh
that.
V and the
Is that
Still elements.
is that the only way like Irish people can survive? That because you're too afraid to hook up or something?
Irish people aren't afraid of shit. Why the fuck our fucking sisters?
But you said like the men are afraid of the women, so
the men
like,
are terrified of women. Yeah,
I was too. I was in Dubai, and I was like, "Whoa, they drink way too much." Like I was shit faced.
The Irish men were too much.
No, the women.
Oh, Irish women.
yeah, they drink a lot.
And I was getting like they were getting started, and I was already under the table, and I was
So
like,
how does that? I mean, is there that stereotype of that Irish woman who's like gonna drink a lot
That's
and then grab
what-
you and go,
No.
"You boy, you're with
Well,
me."
first of all, by
Okay.
the way, the drinking cultures are completely different. In Estonia, you have a very natural, fairly healthy drinking culture. In Ireland, it's binge on the weekend. Just fucking binge. 2 nights. Let's just get as drunk as quick as possible,
Yeah.
and pass out, and then go back to work on Monday. In Estonia, I see fucking construction workers before going to work in line in Grossi with a beer. Because they're bringing it for lunch.
that's not healthy, but okay.
I mean, it's better.
Somehow better.
Yeah, well, neither is healthy, but it's healthier.
But for me, it was just like we were in Dubai. It's hot. Like I mean, we're in the desert. I don't know how they survive because they're lighter than
Oil
me.
money, that's it.
But okay. Anyway, they were making a ton of money, but they were drinking half of it. So they were constantly going out and bars and stuff. And I just remember like I was so drunk. I was just literally, I need to go home. I'm not okay. I was really like, I'm gonna have a heat stroke or something. And they were like, oh, well, we just ordered another round. Like I was like, what the fuck? They're talking politics. I have no idea what's going on. I don't even know
Irish
what country I'm from. I'm from Estonia. What the fuck is going on? I'm so confused. Like, and they were just, and they were kind of like, okay, they were not drunk in my, and so I'm sorry, that's a stereotype. I know.
No, it's not, but it's also true because Irish women, there's still that old school, like, all right, I need to get my good years out of the way so I can settle down and be a housewife. We still have that. So Irish women in their teens and early 20s will fucking binge and party like fuck.
Yeah, because I was
they
like-
understand for the rest of their
Okay.
lives. They're gonna be
Because-
slaves,
because-
basically.
Because I was like 26 when I was
Yeah.
in Dubai, and they were like 20 euros something.
Yeah, yeah, they have to get it in.
And I was really like, I'm gonna lose a kidney if I drink more. Like I cannot keep up with you guys. And they were all like English teachers or something like that. They were all teachers.
Yeah, there's nothing else you can do. They're,
Yeah.
they're English teachers for sure.
So and they were lovely. Like I met them in daytime, but they drank every single day, and I couldn't keep up, and I was sweating a lot. You know, just because it's so hot, and I was sweating in this desert. There's camels and Lamborghinis, and I'm drunk, and I'm gonna get arrested. And there's some shakes, and it was a lot of mess. It was just I don't know what's going on, but
A good time.
it was a good time. I didn't pay for shit because I was like, "Hi, I'm from Estonia. I have a lot of personality." Everybody thought that meant that I'm an escort, but no. It turns out no.
Code, is it?
I was like, no, literally.
lot of personality.
Yeah, I was like, no, I just make jokes. I'm sorry.
No, but but just to finish my point on the whole matchmaking thing, like it's only in tiny communities.
Okay.
So there used to be towns known for where the matchmaker was, like the local villages would send their women to this town to be. And see, here's another thing, right? The whole abuse by the Catholic Church thing. No one talks about the potential abuse by matchmakers. Farmers were sending their daughters to this man who would give them a good looking over to see who would they be suited to. And I mean, come on, dirty old fucking Irishmen in the 60s and 70s. I wouldn't trust them. But
Igor Mang vibes.
So to this day, it still happens in tiny, tiny villages. And
Right, at least these guys are not publishing astronomy books every 6 months.
Or buying Estonian books.
Igor Mang.
I was gonna say Mooneger, but I pulled out because we have to be politically correct.
Last year it was my 30th birthday, and one of my friends gave me Igor Mang's book.
I buy it every year, Silla. I buy it every single year.
And I was like,
coronavirus, by the way.
And you know, I was like, Sirli, fuck you, Sirli, giving me this shitty horoscope because my horoscope sucked. And actually, he was right. I got corona, so he was right about that. He was like, in January, you'll be so fucked, your health is gonna be shitty, and I got corona, so I was like, fuck you, Igor Mang.
Igor Mang knows.
Yes, because he's touched enough vaginas to know.
Is that all it takes?
I met him at a bus stop once. He had this giant dog.
Yes.
He complimented my beard, and I was like, yeah.
Really? Wait, let's break this down. You were at which bus stop you were at with Igor Mang? What the fuck?
It was the one near Sikupili.
Okay.
There's some bus stop there near Sikupili.
Why were you at a bus stop?
Because I had to get a bus.
You never get buses.
Lewis, I used to bus out before I got my driver's license.
Mr. City B, I
got my driver's license in 2018. I've been here since 2000.
So there was, okay. So
Estonian government, I've not been here since 2013. But let's just say for the sake of argument, I've been here since 2013. I only got my driver's license in 2018.
And you didn't just take taxis around like a rich white person. You were taking buses.
If I get the bus from Paide, I'd hop off at Sikupili and go to Prisma and then hop back on the bus to go into the old town or something like that.
Okay.
Because the tram, I don't know, the tram didn't go out that far then.
And Igor Mang was at one of these bus
Igor
stops.
Mang was there with his big long grey coat and his big dog he had.
The black dog. Black. He looks like a wolf.
And he said something to me in Estonian and I said, oh, sorry, do you speak English? He said, Panu Ruski. I said, no, do you speak English? He said, good beard. I walked out. I think he called me Jan Peck. I think he said, like, you look like Jan Peck. I think he said that.
Oh, no. Really?
Because I do kind of look like Jan Peck.
Because I had this, like, it was, I don't even know, like 2 or 3 years ago or something. I was in Rotterdam and then Igor Mang with his dog comes up to me. And I was like, oh, this is going to be good.
He gets around, Jesus.
He has this old camera, like from 2005, you know, like this flashy kind of camera that he wanted me to take pictures of him and with his dog.
Wow, this dude's a pickup artist. I mean, he's using the Roosh V techniques. That's a day bang technique.
Maybe it's...
Like, go ahead, sure.
That could be a section in his horoscope.
Yeah.
And I was literally, I took photos of him with this camera and I was like, whatever. And he's like, when's your birthday?
Oh, getting intimate, asking questions. Dang. I mean, he's got a thing. He's got a day pickup formula.
And I was like, in November 24th. And he's like, oh, you're into foreigners.
He said you're into foreigners?
November 20th.
Igor Mang, he fucking knows.
November 24th, you're into foreigners. Bang.
He's like, what year? And I was like, 1990. You're gonna move abroad.
Jesus, you don't have to be fucking Sherlock Holmes to work that out.
You moved
a chick born in 1990 is gonna move abroad. Jesus.
He was like, no way you're gonna set up for an Estonian guy. You're gonna meet some Western dude and you're not gonna set up for any less. And I was just like...
He knows.
November 24.
He has listened. Okay, he has listened to this podcast. He knows everything.
Had he already exactly because these sort of individuals like Roosh or like Igor Mang, whatever they might want to do, their forecasting and foretelling. It's all just observing people. They're just really good at observing and coming up with enough generalities.
It's kind of like magicians or illusionists. You know, they make magic tricks. And
I think you should. His English is bad, but you should have Igor Mang on this.
Hello, yes. So if you are 24th of November, bang for the It's not Estonia.
I gave her a horoscope and she did not let me stuff cock in vagina.
Ei, Rotterdam.
We've done 2.5 hours,
because
by the way.
Oh, yeah.
like, okay, come on, Eager Mind look at me and it's like, okay, this bitch is crazy. So probably not the local ones. Like I'm pretty sure that he can actually read people just by observing.
You don't need a psychology degree
Yeah.
to work out what he's working out. Like
Yeah.
what Roosh is working out, and this is how we're going to wrap it all up and bring it together
Yeah.
at the end of the podcast. Is you don't need to be a fucking psychic nor in with a psychology degree to work this stuff
Yeah.
out. You just have to observe people a little bit, come up with some conclusions.
Yeah.
Have a few generalities about people that will often enough be good enough to
Because I think everybody has, in a way, I don't know if it's like prejudice, but if we see somebody, we get some ideas in our head, like, oh, he or she is introverted or extroverted or this or that. We have this kind of connections in our head, and I'm pretty sure that like if you observe somebody for, let's say, a couple of minutes, you see me being extra and shit, wearing all red. I'm alone. I'm talking to people. It's like you kind of get a pretty good idea who I am. That I'm not a shy, person. I'm not really like. It's like you can't read somebody just from the way I express myself, the way I talk, how loud I am. Okay, it's just like you can. It's not science.
But also, I will say before you wrap it up, Lewis.
Yeah.
I actually think Igor Mang. I think his dog does all the predictions, and Igor is just the guy. He's just
Conspiracy
just
theory.
listening to the dog. The dog knows.
Dog
okay.
knows.
And the dog's not a pickup thing. It's not like, I've got a
dog
cute dog, and so the chicks want to talk to me.
And the dog.
It's not a cute dog.
Oh
though.
my
It's
god!
a mess of a dog.
And the dog can actually sniff that I had foreign flag.
He smells some Turkish kebab on you. It's like,
I would make a stinky vagina joke, but I'm not gonna do it. Because I'm a good man. I'm not a good man, but I'm just gonna be,
stinky vagina is where we're going to leave that. One there. Thank you very much for listening through. We're over 2 hours, but we had good fun. We did the book review and we talked about stuff. It was good fun. Sille, thank you for being here today.
It was my last time here, but thank you for reminding me.
Stinky
Stop
vagina
it.
Sille will be back. Don't you worry. Stinky and Tim. Stinky vagina Tim.
He's saying your vagina stinky. Oh, my
Stinky.
pussy stinks, buddy.
Yeah, it
Jesus
stinks.
Christ.
Stinky vagina Tim. What have you got going on this week? What are you going to do?
This
Stinky
week
vagina
I
Tim?
will be at Caroline's on Broadway. This
Come
week
on,
I got nothing.
Who's got nothing?
Oh wait, no, I'll
Come
do
on,
something.
Tim, you have kinky boots.
Are they kinky boots?
They are kind of kinky boots.
Kind of kinky boots.
They're flowery like
But your
my
balls are
soul.
still hanging out.
They're fucking.
They are.
Jesus
Jesus,
Christ.
Tim,
I
you
did
see
wear
them in
torn
jeans.
jeans. But no, this week I will be. Well, I was gonna do something, but I don't know now.
You're still gonna be in Paide.
Nah,
So it's probably gonna suck.
No, it's around Easter every year, me and my friend James used not Estonian James, Irish James. We used to read the because Ireland. How do I explain this without being retarded? Sorry for using the R word for all the retards watching the show.
There are
all
only-
right. Every Easter, me and my friend James would recite the Proclamation of Independence that was read out by Michael Collins on the steps of the General Post Office in Dublin, because Ireland was declared a republic on 1916 in Easter.
Okay.
I can't go home this year, so I was going to do it from Tallinn Town Hall.
Nice.
But I probably won't though.
You should probably get someone there at least to watch you.
Oleg was going to come and film the whole thing.
That's good. Just Oleg.
Yeah.
Just a weird.
But it would be
feminine
weird.
Russian guy
It would be
coming to-
weird. It'd be weird to do it in Tallinn. I'm not in Ireland, so what the fuck
You
am I
need some
doing?
people around you at least to make it a thing.
It doesn't matter. It's just I picked Town Hall because you're facing Mad Murphy's and they have an Irish flag that's flying outside.
Could live stream it on Carl's channel. There'll be
And-
13-year-old Estonian.
Carl don't want
watching it.
that. Carl don't
And
want
if
that.
it doesn't work out, you can always make up with Oleg and just say that,
Could do. I do that anyway though.
Okay.
Video or not. Me and Oleg are going to fucking town.
All right. We're going to end here. Thank you very much for listening. See you next time.